Yeah. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, then you probably smell the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. Yeah, fucking like this, and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this, and I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. You're
listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Shout out to the Who That Nation, man. We in this thing, Sports Coma, holding it down. Like I've been saying for some time now, welcome, welcome, welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, where we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports fam. Shout out to the fam, man. Appreciate y'all being in the stream. Much love to the family members, and what a great win for the Black and Gold to be able to come out with the win, man. And we handled the business, and it was real positive, to be honest with you. Real proud of how they handled it, and we got the dub. So shout out to the Who Dat Nation. Appreciate y'all being in the stream. Shout out to everybody in this thing. We'll do a recap of the game, and we'll talk about it today. So shout out to all of the fams. K Molin there. Good to see you in the chat. Much love to you, Dana, all my queens out there. OG Jerry in the building. Shout out to you, brother. King Morrison, M. Taylor, Jamaica. Shout out to you, Queen. Good to see you, Mr. Barnes. Shout out to you, sir. Appreciate you. Jason. Who else we got? Truly, the Truth Hurts, Real Fans Sports. St. Doug. Shout out to you, Swack. Much love, Pelicans Nola. I see you. Dog the Writer. Shout out to you, Tedra. Much love, DJ Twigger. Much love, fam. Poppy 504, St. Gomer. The whole fam is up in this thing on Saints winning Sunday. How about that? Don't they got a nice swing to it? Lori, shout out to you, Queen. Appreciate you as well. Good to see y'all in the stream, man. Much love. And like I said, it's always great on a Saints winning Sunday. How about that? It's always great. Brother Jarvis, how you doing, sir? Kathleen, how you doing, Queen? Shout out to y'all, man. Appreciate y'all. Much love. All right, so anyway, let's get into it. Saints make it pop 26-24 to get the dub in the major capacity over them stinking right. Well, I ain't gonna go that way, but I'm about to take it that way, like it was the Kansas City Falcons, man. I'm about to take it to them. But anyway, it's all gravy, man. We got love for the Kansas City Chiefs, man. They're pretty cool, man, and they gave us a good game there, man. So we appreciate that. Anyway, the first team is what was really dope, that we was able to watch what was happening with the first team. And how everything just kind of flowed through the game. The first team offense. How do you guys grade it? Let's put our teachers hat on. Shout out to all our teachers out there. As school is starting, let's put our teacher caps on and let's get our grading together. Let's give grades on the Saints offense. How do you guys grade the Saints offense? Now, I'm a kind of a tough grader, but I think the Saints offense did pretty damn well. I really did. I like what I've seen from them. Thought the offensive line did a decent job. I liked how Carr made his passes. I just thought they did very well. So yeah, I would have to give them high marks in this one. I would have to say I would give the offense a B plus, close to an A. I would have to give them a B plus. They did really well. You can see some of the family members chiming in, and I can see much of it. What's up, Mitchell? Shout out to you. OG Jerry, shout out. Big Sean, how you doing, sir? Says B. Young City Night Ward, A minus. Jamaica says first. She gave him an A. Okay, for the first team. All right, you got to make sure that you differentiating. Yes, first team. Jason says A plus. Jared, shout out to you, my brother. A. All right, Kevin Conley, shout out to you, brother. Sir Roger says A minus. Okay, they moved the ball very well. Thank you, sir. A minus for Dana. A for Pelicans Nola. Tori. Shout out to brother Tori, man. All right, Tony says overall I agree. Yeah, Devon says who that to you? Shout out Devon, much love, bro. Notorious Big says B plus, too many penalties for an A. That's well, I gave him A plus. I thought there was, and you're always a person that believe in kind of giving more room for improvement. So we have some things that we can kind of focalize moving forward. So y'all get ready for that focalized term. I'm just getting y'all warmed up for that. That's what you're gonna be hearing all damn season long. I'm gonna say it at least one time a show is focalized. All right, let's just keep it. That's my one of my new favorite words that we gotta focalize. All right. So anyway, it's Papa says first team A plus. 504 Coast says, "Q, who that to you, fam? Princess Lewis, how you doing, fam? Much love to you. Rated R Sports, shout out to you, fam. Appreciate you. A plus. Pammy, what's happening, Queen? Shout out to you as well. Good to see you. All right, a lot of A's in there, man. The A pluses. There you go. I see you. All right, dog. Say I give an A to Dennis. Fit coaching, a good game. Yeah, he looked real comfortable. That's another thing. Dennis Allen, uh, it- as a head coach, the head coach experiment is kind of changing a bit with Dennis Allen. You can see him a lot more relaxed going into the game because a lot of the stuff that he was doing last year, he don't have to totally do. He most of the guys that he hired on, like Coach Woods and the rest of them, they're taking a lot of that off of his hands. So from a defensive perspective, we actually have one defensive coordinator last year as opposed to the two guys that we had, and I think he still was doing a lot of that himself. A lot more relaxed Dennis Allen. All right, shout out to you on that. A plus for R rated. Let's see. Dog said I give him A plus to Dennis. Fit coaching, good game. Lady T, shout out to you. Says I was at the game, but got up in the beginning of the fourth quarter. I missed the comeback. Interesting experience. This was a very good game. Thank you, Lady T. Shout out to you. And never underestimate them boys. And I ain't talking about them Cowboys. I'm talking about them Saints boys. All right, A plus Willie. Shout out to you. Yellow Nose says overall C plus penalty and O line play suffered. And I guess you saying that from a summation for the entire game. I guess that's what you're saying. Yellow kind of saying. I think overall he got an overall grade right there. All right, there. Yeah. Okay. First time at the dome. Yeah, I've been there many times at the dome. Matter of fact, last year I was at the dome too. I love the experience. I just don't like when it's time to leave. The traffic and everything getting out of it's a major turn off for me, But outside of that, everything else is pretty fire. All right, Kevin says because of the Jake performance. Okay, yeah, okay, you gave kind of took a little bit off of it. I got you. But yeah, it was pretty cool, man. It was pretty cool watching the Saints do what they did. Jamaica said they had blown coverages in the end. Yeah, you had a lot of third stringers that just didn't know what they was doing, So it was interesting. Lame ASF says, man, let me tell you about having below average Merriweather look. He said, just playing. All right, I was about to say, you saw you about to start capping there, lame ASF. But he just toying around. I got you, brother. Yeah, but Merriweather, man, for a undrafted guy, man, he did okay. We're gonna see more of these guys. We got two more games to see what's going on. Randy, shout out to you, brother. Says makes sense. Refs and Goodell gave KC another Super Bowl win. Why not give the Saints a meaningless win? There you go. That's all about the Goodell, man. Unless you go up there, you got to go up there and kiss his tail. Then you get a couple of games knocked off, which you was going to get. So that's how that works. So Kamara did his thing. It helped out. I'm not mad about the 3 games. It could have been a lot more if he hadn't have went up there. So whoever told him to do that, if he decided to do that, shout out to him. What's up, brother Mario? How you doing, sir? Appreciate you being in the stream. All right, B Mill, shout out to you. Yeah, overall, fam, not bad. I see you, Lewis. What's up, Tasha? Shout out to you, Queen. Yeah. Jamaica says Roby and Taylor. Yeah, y'all you said Roby and Taylor, our second string they had. Yeah, I know. Did y'all see what happened with Roby giving up that touchdown? Now it was a miscommunication there, but you know who was supposed to switch off and guard that area of the field. Looked like it was man to man, but it's a switch off where he was supposed to follow the guy out, and that was his man on the switch. That's how the play is designed to go. But in the end, it didn't work that way, and that was the miscommunication that gave up the touchdown that kept it a little close. But like I was saying, Bradley Roby, man, and I ain't trying to, disparage Bradley Roby's ability, but Bradley Roby is in his 10th year in the NFL. You don't think he's seen that play at least a half a dozen times, at least in the 10 years that he's been playing in the NFL? Majority of the time he's been starting. We just got Bradley Roby a couple years ago, and like I said, he's on a 3-year deal, right? Well, not 3 year. He has $3 million left on his current deal, After this year, it's over with. So the Saints like, yeah, we got him here. He helps the deepness, I guess, or the depth of the cornerback room. If something were to happen to our top three guys, you have a veteran guy there. But I have not liked overall how Bradley Roby has played for the Saints. And I know it's just a preseason game. I know we got a new secondary coach there. And hopefully, I know Joe Woods, our defensive coordinator, he works with the cornerbacks, and Marcus Robinson, who's the secondary coach, works with the safeties. Hopefully, Joe could get Bradley Roby on a much better level than what I've seen, and with just his stuff with the Saints, man. I don't know. I don't know what it is about him. He kind of takes me back to when I used to watch your boy play Pat Robinson when he had the braids. When he had the braids, he was garbage. You know, AF. I can't say too much, man. It's a family show. But like ASF just came on here and said, I'm gonna just say this about Bradley Roby. What I've been seeing, that he been looking garbage AF. Y'all got it. Y'all keep it in y'all head, man. All right. Shout out to you, Notorious Big. He says we made Mahomes look like he in book. We were on. I'm a little worried about the corner and O line depth, but we'll be fine. 10 plus wins if healthy. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you there. Much love to you and thank you. I'm broadcasting from a different location, so I don't have my board set up to hit the button so you can hear the money thing. But I'm proud I'm gonna get back and set it all up so everything all good. All right, Swag said I didn't see the whole game. Did the wide receiver for South Carolina? Yes, Shaq Davis. You're speaking of Shaq Davis did play. Shaq Davis had a real meaningful catch down the stretch too, because your boy just threw it up there, and Shaq, he's every bit of 6'5", got up there, and he got that massive catch radius. You just put it within his vicinity, and he'll turn up and attack the ball at the highest point. And he just caught a real good pass to help the Saints, move the ball and get involved. So yeah, our wide receivers did all right. What's up, Sky Life? Shout out to you. What's up, Jesse? Keep hope alive. Says who that family? Miller getting hurt. Yeah, he did get dinged up in the matchup. But it was pretty good. So let me kind of move through these statistics, family. We got 180 plus of us in the building. Y'all feel free, if y'all can, to please feel free to hit the like button, hit the share button, and also feel free to subscribe if you're not a subscriber. Join the fam. Once again, thank you, Notorious B.I.G. man, for the super chat. Much love to you, fam. Appreciate you. All right, fam. Let's jump right into it here on this one right here. We covering it, and we look at the first down. Saints did pretty good, 21-17 on the first down. They got 15. This is an interesting statistic to talk about. Is the fact that the Saints got, it was a combination of different things that happened, but 15 first downs of the 21 first, where they had 21 passing first downs and 15 of them rush touchdowns. I thought the Saints did a pretty good job at rushing at this thing. Overall, it was 7 of 16 on third down versus the Chiefs 5 of 13. The Saints did pretty decently there. Total plays, Saints had 10 more plays versus them 69 to 59. 364 to 360 was the total yards. The drives were 13 all. Chiefs averaged 6.2 yards per play versus 5.2 with the Saints. And you can see the team statistics as the Saints in terms of the pass were 263 to 239. Saints averaged almost 6 yards per throw. Chiefs at 6.3 in the matchup. Saints ran at that thing 93 rushing yards versus 83 by the Chiefs. And you can see the Chiefs were averaging almost 5 yards. You might as well round it up and say 5 yards per carry against the black and gold. We was able to stop. But I would imagine, like, when we were in there against the first team's offense, I wanted to try to get a interesting look at how our first team defense, our defensive line, did against the running attack. And I thought against the Chiefs first team, we did a pretty admirable job, doing that. The red zone stuff for the Chiefs throughout the game, 3 or 4 for the game. Saints was 2 or 4. Penalties, 9 penalties for 79 yards. Also something that you want to keep an eye out on if you are a New Orleans Saints diehard, is that remember last year, and we spoke about this in the previous streams, that a large problem of the Saints with losing last year and hurting themselves, because the Saints were in majority of all those games last year. The Steelers game was my least favorite game. The Saints had that game. The 2 Carolina Panthers games, the 2 Tampa Bay Buccaneers games. The Saints had all those games and did not close out the games. And a lot of times it was because of game intelligence. situational intelligence, not shooting yourself in the foot, not collecting false start penalties and things of that ilk, pre-snap penalties. I call them dumb plays. Undisciplined dumb plays is what I call them. That'll get you beat all the time. So we seen that type of stuff happen. The Saints only had 9 penalties overall throughout the game with all the different units we were throwing in or the people personnel we was moving in there. 9 for 79, Chiefs 7 for 61. 2 turnovers by the Chiefs that helped the Saints. Saints had one as well, which was the interception. Time of possession, Saints held the ball 33 minutes and 14 seconds versus 26 minutes and 46 seconds by the team. So not a bad overall grouping. And like I said, when you talk about the major units that really matter is the fact that we look at and try to dissect our first team. First and foremost, family, you look at Big Colin Sanders. Is it Colin? Colin Sanders. I'm gonna go with Colin. Colin Sanders, the big fella, was in there doing the worm. Let me tell you something. And the only person that kind of tried to outdo him was Cam with the backflip. So you can see these two. They have two big characters, or two big personalities rather, and Colin Sanders was in there handling the business. I love how he played in the game. He was getting after it. Peyton Turner was handling his business in the matchup in there as well. Even though he didn't start, it was Granderson that got the start. We know Demario wasn't in there, but it was good to see a few of the other guys behind them do their thing. But it's very interesting because I wanted to kind of look at the Saints defensive line in particularly interiorly, and I thought that the first team did pretty good. I knew that Colin Sanders would be extra, or Kalen Sanders would be motivated to kind of play against his former team. But if you listen to him, to Big Sanders, this dude is always like super. Um, he's a highly motivated dude, positive, very intelligent. He got 2 Super Bowl rings with the Chiefs, and I'm just looking at him and seeing how him and Cam pair, because he will be a big part of the success matrix in terms of what the Saints would do from an interior defensive line standpoint. So I was first team Saints defense was doing what they were doing what they do. So I love what they were doing. So I'm gonna talk about some individual players throughout the show. But let's hit some of these statistics, family, and get over into y'all fill in the blanks in the chat. Let me know how y'all feel. We got 200 plus in the building. Y'all let me know what particular players that you liked, who you seen that really stepped out to you amongst so many of the players, man. I know I'm probably gonna miss a few, but there was a ton of them out there that we was looking at that really did some positive stuff for the Saints to help them gain that win. And remember, the Saints had to come from behind and get the victory, man. After we kind of stumbled a bit with Jake Hayner at the quarterback. But Derek Carr, the first team, he was 6 of 8 for 70 yards. He averaged almost 9 yards to throw, had a beautiful touchdown toss to the back of the end zone to Keith Kirkwood, getting in the corner of the end zone. Just perfectly thrown ball to the corner. It was really nice how he conducted the offense, how he moved around in the offense. You got to give Carr credit. It's just a preseason game, and he played a handful of plays. But what he did do in the matchup was pretty positive, to be honest with you. So Derek Carr performed very well in his first preseason matchup, and looking forward to seeing more for him down the line. I don't know if Dennis Allen going to put him in there in the second matchup, preseason matchup. I don't know, but I think it was pretty good for him to come out and play the first team people and give them an opportunity to get their feet wet in there together. So because this matters, getting live game rep action, touching the game, so when we get into the regular season, it don't become a preseason for us. You know what I'm saying? At least them getting somewhere, because a lot of times coaches would be overcautious with their personnel, their starting personnel, and I understand why. But it'll cost them when they get to the regular season, because the first 2, 3, 4 weeks of the regular season is their actual preseason. They got to build a camaraderie, some chemistry, synergy, all that beautiful stuff. So it's good to see him get there. I don't know if he's going to do that next week. But I'm looking forward to see how they'll handle it. Derek was 6 of 8, like I mentioned. He did really well. His rating was 40.6. Jameis Winston got in there 11 of 13 for 92 yards, 7.1. Jameis touchdown got a little touchdown, got his stuff going too. Finding A.T. Perry. You won't talk about somebody that really stepped up. And for my Trequan Smith people that love Trequan Smith, listen, fam, I appreciate your loyalty. I appreciate your dedication. But A.T. Perry says enough of that stuff. That guy had his chance. He was a third-round draft pick. He didn't live up to expectations. They tried to put him up there. He didn't. He didn't fight hard enough. But A.T. Perry was in there making the catches. He was doing the effort. He looked good in the game, and that is the reason why Trequan Smith is not going to be on this goddamn roster because of people like A.T. Perry out there handling the business. Let me tell you something. So anyway, Jameis 11 to 13. Now Jameis took 3 sacks in the game. I think a couple of them was his fault if my recollection was right. Jameis was tending to hold the ball. He started off hot and then kind of tilted off. Later on, I thought a couple of those sacks that Jameis had took, Jameis could have got rid of the ball. Now, a couple of pressures that was leading up to the sacks, you could see that he wasn't kind of handling the business like he was supposed. He was kind of shaky behind that line, I guess, and it really didn't. He kind of moved around and decided to take the sacks. He didn't have any turnovers in the game, although he backpedaled and threw one. He was going to Lynn Bowden Jr. in the center of the field, and Lynn Bowden, the ball was just batted down, but they had like 3 people in that area that could have picked the ball off. So not a smart decision by Jameis, but he took 3 sacks to death. At least 2 of those, he could have got rid of the ball. He was holding the ball a little too longer than what I wanted, but still in all, Jameis finished the game very respectfully, 18 of 13 for 92 yards, averaged over 7 yards per throw with a touchdown and a rating of 121.8. And then Jake Hayner played the entire third. He was 10 of 17 for 105. First time action out there. Obviously, he was able to get the touchdown late on in the game. He averaged 6.2 yards. He pulled it together, so I got to give him some credit. He pulled it together and led the team, down the field to make some stuff happen and actually close the game out the right way. He did have that interception, which was a bad look there. What you could see in his face, I was studying his body language. Carr was talking to him and giving them game at the same time. So I was kind of thinking, I was like, yeah, Jake Hayner, man, yeah, you gotta what's going on. But this is their first time stepping in that thing. They gotta settle down. So we know he's gonna do better. But I do like the fact that he did handle the business later on in the game to make sure not only did we have positive stuff from our first team, but learning and winning. This is the philosophy when we talk about preseason. You want to learn and get the good live time game reps, but you also want to come out there with the W. That's what the thing is, learning while and winning while we're learning. That's what it's about. And the Saints did that today. Running game, fam, rushers for us, 9 to 28 was Jamal Williams. Jamal Williams in there looked sleek to me. He was in there doing this thing, running over people. Jamal Williams was strong in the running game, looked real good. Ellis Merriweather got a lot of burn too. And he was looking at him like, okay, we have Kendre Miller got dinged up in this matchup. So we have to find out and see exactly what that's going to be. If that's going to be something that the Saints will have to go out to free agency and find a veteran back, Leonard Fournette, that can possibly come in and kind of help the Saints out during that period of time. But Ellis Merriweather really got a lot of reps in the game. He kind of ran really strong. He's 6'2", 220, power back, did some positive things. Jameis scrambled a couple times. Elvin Kamara looked good in the limited action that he had as well. And Kendre Miller, to me, just didn't look like Kendre Miller. I expected him to be not as good. Like it was a run that I seen when he took off to the left side of the field, which I would thought that he would have done a lot better if Kendre Miller would have kind of, used his stiff arm on that guy. I don't know if y'all know which run I'm referring to when Kendre Miller kind of ran off to the left, or was it a run of the pass? I forget. And I think it was a run. And he was running off to the left down the line, and he cut out. If he'd have thrown out that stiff arm right there, he probably could have turned and got north and south and made some damage right there. So I don't, his first game, I wasn't really impressed with Kendre Miller's game, to be honest, which I was looking forward to seeing him. But he just didn't look right to me. He had 4 carries for 5 yards and averaged 1.3 yards, which is not very good at all. And from the receiving game, we talk about A.T. Perry tearing it up. A.T. Perry was targeted 6 times. He caught everything. Caught 6 catches, 6 targets, 6 catches, 70 yards. He even got a touchdown, the one he dived down to the end zone to get. He averaged 12 yards per catch. A.T. Perry did a wonderful job in this game. He really did. He stepped up. The rookie didn't look like a rookie in the game. He was making plays. He even had a few blocks there. He was doing some stuff. Next up, Brian, that was another big target. 5 targets, 3 catches for 37 yards. Quan Baker targeted 4 times, 2 catches. Jawan had 2 catches on the day for 29. Kamara had 2. Shaq Davis had 2 on 2 targets for 20. Ellis Merriweather, 2 catches on 3 targets. Jimmy Graham got a ball in the game. Mike Thomas caught 1. He was targeted twice, only got 1 for 16 yards in that opening drive with Carr there. And of course, we know about Keith Kirkwood getting his shine on with the catch in the back of the end zone for a score. And they had a couple other players that also got an opportunity to catch the ball. James Washington didn't get much. He had 2 targets, but no catches in the matchup. So not bad for him. Let's go on over to the defensive side of the ball. Ryan Conley, the linebacker, did a pretty decent job for the Saints. Zach Bond, how about Zach Bond got funky in the game, fam? 3 tackles, even had a sack in the matchup and got to the quarterback a couple of times. DeMarco Jackson showed some promise. Nephi Sewell was out there doing his thing as well. Hugo Amadi made a couple of tackles and had an interception off a deflection. Smoke Monday out there making some plays as well. So we had some positive stuff that was going on with the Saints. Paul to the Debo did some stuff. So I mean, Peyton Turner was getting some pressure as well, and it was pretty positive, man. But you seen Kyle Phillips, the defensive end, get the interception in late in the game, and Hugo Amadi off of the deflection by Alante Taylor. So it was a pretty interesting matchup, and even toward the end of the game, uh, Group A, if that's his name, I think it's Groupie or Group A, he kicked the 31-yard field goal to kind of kick the Saints into a winning situation. Blake Gillikin did all right, except, well, Blake Gillikin to me could have punted better in this game. Headley looked a lot better than Blake in this game, but Blake had one ball that was one of the worst punts I ever seen him have as a professional. When he shanked that ball off the side of his foot and then landed at the 15-yard line, it was like a 24-yard punt or something like that. I was like, what the hell is going on with Blake? But it's just one. He kicked better the next 2 punts. But yeah, that it's very interesting to see the same. So anyway, that's what happened with the black and gold fam. I love to hear you guys talk about your thoughts on some of the players that you liked in particular in the matchup. It's a lot of people, man. To be honest with you, that really did. You start at the top with Derek Carr, how he looked good. But me, if I have to say a player of the game in this one, fam, and you got all these different groupings of people coming in there, or just the player that played really well. Who would be your player of the game in this matchup? I would have to say like a guy that really played well, that played on that level. I have to say A.T. Perry. I have to throw him up there. He was targeted 6 times, caught all 6, had a touchdown as well. A.T. Perry showed out, man, and did his thing, man. A.T. Perry, did a hell of a job today, man. He really did. All right, so y'all, what's up, Tuck Graph? Shout out to you, people. Appreciate you. KB, what's happening, Queen? Mr. Mean, I see you, fam. Much love to you. Slim, how you doing, my brother? Tramal, I see you, fam. BP, shout out to you. Who do you guys? What's up, brother Gundam? Shout out to you, man. Y'all let me know how y'all feel. Which particular guys that you like? Brother James, how you doing, sir? He says I did like the athletic swiftness displayed by our D line today and embodied what we needed to help us contain mobile QBs. Good point. Saunders is a great addition. We no longer look just big and lethargic. Yeah, and I think DA mentioned that was one of the terms that he used. He was talking about lethargy, and I'm in my head. I was like, in you know, from interior defensive line position, I thought that was something that we needed to do. But remember, we always talked about that. We always talked about the fact when you talk about the Saints interior guys, they had this. The Saints brass had this approach, like, okay, the guys that we have at the defensive tackle position from years past, we just gonna have 2 guys that's defensive tackles, and we're gonna put them next to each other. And I'm like, no, 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 no. We're not going to do that. No, we're going to specialize here. We're going to get a nose tackle and we're going to get a defensive tackle to sit on side of him. And a nose tackle has to draw the double team. Well, the Saints had none of them guys last year. David Onyemata is not a nose tackle, neither is Shy Tuttle. And David Onyemata was getting mushed out of. He was getting doubled. Shy Tuttle wasn't doing what he was supposed to do. If one or the other gets double teamed, the other guy has to beat the one-on-one, and that wasn't happening. That this time around, what the Saints did with the big guys that they got, when you talk about Saunders, Shepard, and Brian Brucey, these guys actually are big guys that are forces inside. These guys cause hell. They bring constant pressure. They're relentless. And Colin Saunders, you guys seen that today from Colin Saunders, what he was doing out there doing the worm. You seen, Brian Brucey, he was in there doing his thing as well. Shepard was a little bit quieter than the rest of those guys, but those big guys in there are way more energetic and after it than what we seen last year with David Onyemata and Shy Tuttle, big sorry ass, and Kentavia Street and all them bums. So I know I ain't gonna call them bums, but Kent Street was a bum. Come on, if he was, you take him, you know what, you take him and you turn him into a canned good, he would be a tomato can with dents in the shit, rust on it. That's what Kentavia Street was for us last year, man. He was garbage. He was supposed to push out Shy Tuttle and take that position from him, and he didn't do it. He was actually worse than Shy Tuttle last year. So when the Saints had the opportunity, because Shy Tuttle was a free agent, David Onyemata, they actually said that they were looking at wanting to bring him back. Just didn't work that way, and I'm glad they didn't. They had an opportunity to totally reshuffle the entire interior defensive line and get them on up out of here. And I love what they did. All right, Notorious, thank you for your super chat, sir. Says Kendra wasn't doing good even before he got hurt. Yeah, you're right, bro. I was looking at him. I was like, man, Kendre Miller don't look right. He didn't look right. Like when he was hitting the holes, or even when he was bouncing outside the tackle. Like he had one run when he ran to the right side and he couldn't get north to south. But I was like, but a couple of the runs, like the one when he went to the left and ran down the line, he was trying to find a way to turn and go north and south so he can kind of use his power. He didn't do that. He didn't even use the stiff arm on that play. And I'm like, that's not how Kendra Miller runs. Kendra Miller would throw that stiff arm at you. Got a mean stiff arm. He was just, I guess it's just off his game right now. I don't know. It's kind of strange. All right, so he banged up, so we got to figure out what that is, but we'll cover it too as well. Peanut, shout out to you, brother. Thank you for being here. Y'all hit the like button for your boy. Yeah, it was something else, man. Philip, what's up, bro? Says, in all due respect to James, he just doesn't have it to be the starting QB when the pressure came. He did the same as always, can't maneuver to find an open wide receiver, and result throws erratic passes. Well, the one shot the pass that I would say was an old Tampa Bay Jameis throw was the one where he was getting pressure and he tried to force the ball up the field to Lynn Bowden Jr., who was covered, you know. And maybe Shaq Davis would have been the kind of dude that would have caught that ball if Shaq Davis was there, because he would have probably leaped up over the guy. Lynn Bowden's a little guy. He's about 5'11" or whatever. But if he'd have put it up towards Shaq Davis, hell, I'd have thrown it to Shaq Davis and he would have called it like that. But yeah, Jameis, with the pressure in his face, he made an erratic, bad decision to throw the ball in the center of the defense. Could have been bad, could have been picked. But outside of that, he wasn't comfortable behind that line. Despite that first series when he came out there and he made the touchdown happen, he slowly lost momentum and backed down to a degree, if you know what I mean. So I don't know, fam. It's just, I ain't gonna say he's not a starting quarterback, because people will still say we'll bring him in there to start. If Baker Mayfield is people looking at Baker Mayfield to start for him, I know Jameis Winston got a chance in this league, to be honest with you. But yeah, that was a bad, questionable throw, the one when he backpedaled and threw the ball to Lynn Bowden in the center of the defense. Wasn't a good decision. But he didn't trust that offensive line, not making excuses, just looking at it from my perspective. Didn't look. He looked shaky behind that line. The line was crumbling, and really, Jameis' eyes started to drop because he was getting the ball out, throwing the ball away, and just slowly after that, when that pressure started to come, them eyes, and the coaches will tell you that those eyes supposed to be downfield. Them eyes started dropping to like a few feet in front of him, and he looking for the pressure. You got to get the ball out. And I was like, man, Jameis his clock is off. He got to get the ball out. He got to get rid of the ball and don't take the sack. One of them, I don't think he could have avoided, but at least two of the sacks that he had, he should have been able to get rid of the ball. So yeah, I think he'll still be, if Baker Mayfield is in the NFL and they talking about he could potentially be a starter. I know James got somewhere he can be. So we'll see. All right. So anyway, shout out. Kay says, I thought Jameis was fine until the backup. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's he wasn't comfortable behind that backup offensive line. Now, how does Jameis look when you give him the starter line? I guarantee you look a lot different. That's another thing we got to take in consideration. Like, the pressure was coming for James. The backup O line couldn't keep Jameis clean. Now, another thing is, we talked about the backup offensive line last year and the fact that they struggled. This backup, we talking about the second teamers that came in there with doing Jameis, man, that wasn't looking good at all. So the only way Jameis would have been helped is if he would have sped up the clock in his head to get rid of the ball and know what time it is and just get rid of things. But he was starting to take hits, he was starting to get sacked, and that offensive line, the second string line, just crumbled. So, we got to spotlight them second teamers, because that second team backup offensive line, they got to improve, man. They ain't look good at all with Jameis at the quarterback. Yeah, I know Queen. She says she wants Throckmorton off the team. Yeah. Yeah, Throckmorton. Yeah, that's right. Let's get Throckmorton. Yo, Throckmorton. Okay, I got ain't nothing hot about Throckmorton. Let me tell you, his game plan stinks. But listen, he was supposed to be a guy we were looking for, but the Saints gave him a 1 year deal for like what 900K, and it was basically saying let's see what Kelvin if he can step up and do the thing. But really, Landon Young and a couple of these other guys we got in here, you know. You never know. We seen Max Garcia. I wasn't impressed with Max Garcia's play in there today. So a couple of these guys playing together for the first time. Maybe it's a chemistry thing. I don't know, but it definitely got to improve, man. It definitely got to improve. That's Thomas number 64. That's Nick Seldaveri. Nick Seldaveri got beat like a drum too. And that's what I'm saying. The backup guys got to step up, man. The backup guys, them backup offensive linemen, man, they got to step the hell up and play better. But yeah, Nick Seldaveri got beat. He didn't look as crisp as I thought he should have looked. So there was a few guys from an offensive line standpoint that didn't look good. All right, fam. So anyway, that's some of the team statistics. Let's kind of delve in. Let me play Dennis Allen for us right quick and give some reaction what Dennis Allen said after the game. Here we go.
And defensively,
Yeah,
really came out strong and played well. It was good to see, the offense, first drive of the game, take it right down the field, 11 plays, get a touchdown. You know, obviously with a few new pieces, it was good to see Derek out there. It was good to see Mike get a catch across the middle, so there were some good things that happened there. I thought our second series offensively, again, we were able to take the ball down the field and get points. And then really, honestly, I thought it kind of went downhill from there. I don't think we executed very well for a good chunk of the game. And then, obviously there at the end with the kind of 2-minute drive, and then we get the takeaway there at the end of the game to seal it. Kind of the same thing on defense. I thought initially we started out strong. Got a couple of stops with the first unit, which was good. And then probably I'll say, we give up the deep ball, which kind of changed the momentum of the game. So that was not good. And then as we got into the second half, I just thought we made too many mistakes in the second half. Too many mistakes that'll end up costing us games. So, like I said, glad we got the win. Because I think this league's all about winning, and so winning in the preseason is important. And I was glad that our guys were able to do that. It was nice to see Groupie get a chance to get the kick in that situation and be able to knock it through. So I'll take your questions.
Dennis, is there something in particular you liked about the way?
All right, let me pause it there right quick, fam. Another thing is, we talk about Dennis Allen at halftime. They were asked about the halftime report asked Dennis Allen about his thoughts on the game. He gave a real heads up assessment of the game, true to form. And he talked about the second half, the backups, the back of the backbacks, and all those guys that were in there. Absolutely, you seen the Saints had coverages that were called where all they were giving was stuff underneath, and they were still able to get stuff. I was like, how in the hell were they still able to get stuff in coverage? And they were giving stuff underneath, and they were still able to make the correct passes within the coverages. And they were back there. So, it was like that's you kind of look at that and you say to yourself, that's like something just you lay it down to the fact that these are the back of the backups, and they have to figure out how to play together. They have to communicate and they got to make plays, and these are guys that are really trying to make the team. So he's absolutely right. A lot of what we've seen in the second half was, just poor play. It started with, you've seen some of the defensive players get in there and they were missing tackles. Some of the DBs were missing tackles. They were allowing completions to be made that shouldn't have been made because the defense, it was the correct defense call, but you had players that were reacting slow. That's the most kindest way I can kind of phrase this thing is that you had people that were in the proper positions but were reacting slowly or poorly to when the opposing offenses were making throws within their area. So he called it out right. And of course, this is just something that we'll have to watch going forward. But I do have a few areas of concern. I'm gonna finish playing Dennis Allen. But in terms of Kendra Miller, just to drop something, and I got your family. Ask me about the linebackers. I got you in a second. Saints Kendra Miller to undergo MRI after suffering knee injury versus the Chiefs, and he had a knee sprain. He will undergo an MRI to determine the extent of the injury. Now Dennis Allen is going to. He did say that, and he suffered the injury, um, and of course in the Kansas City game, but he had four carries for 5 yards, which is not much sick. And I don't know what was going on with him in the game. He just didn't look like himself. And of course, our deep running back room is not it's not as deep as what it is, and that's what happened in the NFL. That's why depth is so important. You like we had a stout running back room. AK-41 got his 3 games off, so he won't be back until the fourth game of the regular season against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Eno Benjamin, which was the back we had last year, he suffered a torn Achilles tendon. He's done for the year. Now we got Kendra Miller, who was listed as our third back and second, and our backup back behind Jamal Williams. He needs to go see his knee, has his knee synced about the MRI, so we should know something about that tomorrow. What course of action needs to happen, but and then Ellis Merriweather got a lot of extra reps in the later in the game. Let's see what he can do. So I expect the Saints. I don't know if it'll be um, I don't know if it'll be the brother we had here before to bring him in because he seemed to be trying to look for some change. It probably would be somebody else. I know Snell got signed by somebody else, a couple of running backs that we were referring to in the first preseason matchup leading up to it, and then after the preseason games, some of these other lesser known running backs, they're going to fall off the free agency list because injuries going to start impacting people. You know, when you get into preseason, so then you're gonna start seeing teams go out and pick at them. So the Saints probably more than likely will look at bringing. I don't know if it'll be Kareem Hunt. I think Kareem Hunt wants a bag or a mini bag or or a portable bag. I don't know what he's doing. He's looking to me. He's looking for a bag and looking to make more money than what the Saints are willing to give him. And like a vet minimum deal, like a meal or so. Maybe a little bit over a meal. We only need you for 3 weeks, maybe perhaps more, depending on how the situation look going forward. So, like I said, I say Leonard Fournette. He's a north-south runner. He catches the ball out the backfield. He's a guy that would definitely if you bring him on a team, he will really excite a lot of the Who because he's a local star. St. Aug, LSU, went to the pros, and then he dons the black and gold, which this year seems to be a special looking team with Jimmy Graham coming back here. Why the hell not? But we'll see how it all goes moving forward. So yeah, the running back room's starting to get a little banged up there, fam. We got to kind of look at that thing. The linebackers did all right. One of the family members asked about the linebackers. I lost your question. But the linebackers were okay. You see Ty Summer. We seen some lesser known players that we seen. I seen Nephi Sewell out there making some plays. A few of these plays they were in a couple of these linebackers we're looking at, and it's due simply because they're not used to the NFL speed. You can see they were a bit off instinctually speaking. Like you seen some of them reacting late to plays. Had they, been a little faster, they could have made some in. Like one of the linebackers, I don't know if it was Ty Summers or not, maybe with somebody else. The play in which the completion was made to the center of the field to kind of keep Kansas City's offense moving, he got a fingertip on the ball. Had he been a little further over or reacted a little faster to his what you call it, I don't say it clairvoyance, but I call it anticipation. That's the best term. If he had anticipated and been seen what was happening, not reacted so late, he could have just batted the ball down. So, like I said, I seen some of that with the backup linebackers. I thought DeMarco Jackson did okay. He was out there making a few tackles and did some stuff. So, not nobody overwhelmingly like blew the doors off, but we had some solid play from our linebackers today. It wasn't too bad. All right. Justin says the whole defense need to run for all them mixed tackles need to learn to wrap up. Yeah, we chip shotting and putting your shoulder on somebody, man. I would severely frown down on that type of tackling unless you hitting him at the sideline. That's the only that that kind of way I would condone it. Like if you give him a little nudge with the shoulder pad, hit him with your shoulder, and then you knock him out of bounds. I'm cool with that. But open field tackles and you hitting a guy like that, he's just gonna bounce off you. And if he got good, uh, you know, balance, he gonna just recover. He gonna recover and run right and keep running. So you got to learn to wrap up. I agree with you on that, man. you know. All right, so anyway, fam, let's keep it going, man. Let's keep it rolling. Yeah, so running back might be the thing. We'll find out what's happening with his MRI tomorrow. Is Dennis Allen.
I
One
just
in the
thought he
chat
was
if y'all can, fam.
in control, poise, threw it to the open guy. Kind of the way you would want your quarterback to operate the offense. Did a nice job stepping up in the pocket a couple of times. So I thought overall, it was a good experience.
When you're evaluating the team after each practice and reviewing film and everything, does this match what you've been seeing from that starting 11, especially the starting 5 offensive linemen, or was this even an improvement over the consistency?
Look, yeah, I mean, I think really on both sides of the ball, when we've had all of our guys out there, I think it's been a highly competitive situation, and so yeah, I would say we operated pretty well when we had our basically our starting 11 out there. So really on both sides of the ball.
When you're evaluating Alante, does his work in the slot impact how you look at him on the
Shout out, brother Butler.
evaluation?
Yeah, look, I'd say probably 2 different evaluations. I think overall, Alante's had a really good camp. I think he's still getting used to playing inside in the slot. And look, that's just part of the deal with growing up and playing in our league. It's hard to have, if everybody's just an outside corner, somebody's got to go inside. And so he's going in there and getting some work, and he'll learn from his mistakes, and he'll keep getting better from it. No, he had a knee sprain. We'll have to get some imaging and check it out, but that's really all I have.
Did you like the way that Ellis Merriweather kind of responded?
I did. I thought he got in there and ran the ball pretty well. I thought he ran the ball really physically. He had a really nice run that got called back. Got called back, but it was a good run.
What do you think about how 18 players played that?
It was good to see. Yeah.
It brings an interesting point on what we got to do in terms of getting running backs. We don't know what's going on with Kendre Miller right now. Like I said, we'll figure that out. They'll have a report for us tomorrow. But some still tell me the Saints were looking for a running back complement anyway, for what was going on. And as we get further and further into the season, we started seeing some of these guys out there. Sean mentioned Ezekiel Elliott. I don't know. We think in 3 games now because of Elvin Kamara. Things could change, fam. Things could really change here. Just keeping it $1.15 with you. If Kendre Miller, and God forbid he is, and hoping he's not, but if it's something that could, we have 2 more weeks before the regular season start after this game is over with, then, we don't know exactly how it will go. And then how many people are comfortable with Ellis Merriweather being the third back? I mean, if Kendre Miller can't go for the next 2 weeks, then Ellis Merriweather, the undrafted guy, steps up and becomes your third back? Because and of course we know Kirk Merritt, but Kirk Merritt had some type of issue too. And of course you're the Saints, so you can always go and say, hey man, we can bring in Taysom Hill to be a running back for the time if we need him to do that or whatnot. So there are different approaches you could take. But at this point, if you're the Saints, we don't know exactly how it's going to spin. So Kareem Hunt might be something interesting for you. He's listed as, I don't think he's the top back available for the Saints. He is, because Dalvin Cook wants a chip. Wants not a chip, but he wants some chips. They dipped in gold from the bag that the Saints will pay him to buy. So I don't know exactly how that's going to work out, but running back position is something we have to work out on. Here go Dennis Allen again.
I thought he stepped up and caught the ball well. Don't like him reaching for the goal line there at the end, on his first touchdown. But, it was good. We had some young guys that scored their first NFL touchdowns. We had some guys that, kicked their first NFL field goal. So it was good to see some of those young guys make some plays. And certainly, look, we're in a race to improve between now to week 2. And we got a few days before we get on a plane and head out to LA and get ready to work against the Chargers. So, but we have a lot of things we got to improve on.
Dennis, having gone through the draft and off-season acquisitions, which acquisitions have you made that you're most excited about and why?
Yeah, look, I mean, I'm excited about all the acquisitions. You know what I mean? Like, that's why we went out and got those guys. So I like them all. Now, there's different things different values that I think they bring to the team. But yeah, I mean, I like all those guys, or else, we wouldn't have gone out and got them.
What do you think of Jake Painter's out?
I thought early on, it was a little erratic, but I thought as he kind of settled down, I thought he got better. And he's kind of that way. You guys have been watching him. He's got a little moxie to him, and when the game was on the line, he ended up getting us down the field and putting points on the board. It was disappointing on the 2-point play that we snapped the ball early and don't get a chance to at least try to execute in that situation. I thought that was probably the one take I take away from this. I thought we had too many self-inflicted wounds, not with the first groups, but as we got into the second and third wave, I thought there was way too many self-inflicted wounds that we got to clean up.
Did Derek have done anything better?
Well, let me look at the tape. I'm sure there's probably a couple of things that he could have done better, but 11 plays and whatever it was, 80 yards and a touchdown, that's pretty good.
Dennis, I know the situation is different with Trevor and Caesar since Trevor has less experience and he played much longer, but with Caesar, is that a good sign that you guys have been seeing the development coming off that injury that you didn't see from him in camp?
Yeah.
Enough work for him?
Yeah, look, I mean, the plan all along was, 10 to 15 plays with the first group, give or take. And there was a couple of guys that we might want to get out a little bit earlier, a couple of guys that we might want to leave in a little bit longer. And so it's kind of how the game played out. But in response to Trevor, yeah, the plan was to get him about 20 plays. I don't know what the final count ended up being, probably closer to 24, but 21, 22, something like that.
How about Caesar in particular, though? Is that a good, you like what you're seeing in these?
Yeah, I like what I've seen. Now, I'm sure we'll look at the tape and see some things that we got to improve on, but yeah, I like where we're at.
We kind of talked a lot about turnovers. Nice to see you guys take advantage of the opportunities that were given, especially like drills and down with that one.
We've talked a lot about taking the ball away, and I think we had 2 of them today. I think takeaways are contagious. I think when you start getting them, they tend to come in bunches, and so everything's about the ball. We got to continue to emphasize that as a coaching staff and make sure our guys understand the importance of the ball, both protecting the ball and trying to take it away.
What are your thoughts on A.T. Perry's day? Is this kind of a confidence-building moment for him?
Yeah, I thought it was good. Couple of contested catches. Thought he was able to, run down the field, put his foot in the ground, come back and create some separation, and then be able to make a catch in a contested environment. So, I thought he played well.
Was it the same knee that Kendra was dealing with this offseason?
I believe so.
Dennis, what about the way that you won? Because it's been a hot and humid camp for everybody here, and it seems like everyone, especially at the end, they chipped in.
Yeah, well, look, I mean, preseason game, when we didn't get the 2-point, we could have said, let's get out of this thing, save our pads a little bit. But, I thought it was important for us to take the timeouts and see if we could, we figured if we got them 3 and out, and they had to punt the ball back to us, we'd probably get the ball with about, 15 to 20 seconds left. And maybe we could get ourselves into a, long field goal range and see if Groupie could hit, a long one. And, our guys on defense made a play, and you never know when those plays are going to come. So you just got to keep playing.
On James's 3 sacks, how much of that is on y'all
I think we got to look at that. You know what I mean? Like I'm going to reserve judgment till I see exactly what happened, on the tape. But generally when things like that happen, there's a little bit of blame to go around. So we'll look at it and see what we thought.
You said you were looking forward to seeing tight end Jimmy Graham out there. What did he show you?
Well, look, what did he have? One catch, but I thought he ran a nice route, got the ball vertical. I thought he did a couple of good things in the run game in terms of blocking. I didn't like the call against him, but look, I'll go back and look at the tape. But I thought overall pretty good. All right, thanks, guys.
All right, fam. Thank it. That's Da right there talking this game, and very interesting. With Da, what he talking about, and the whole team. Shout out to brother Melvin McCraney Jr. Thank you for becoming a member of the channel, brother. Appreciate you. Much love to you. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it, and welcome to the family. All right, shout out to the fam. Appreciate y'all all hanging with me. 280 plus in us. Please feel free to do me a favor. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe, and the share button. The share button. Sharing is caring. Please feel free to share the show on your social media feed. All in Saints groups, we appreciate you. Brother Kevin Conley said, I seen Jamal Williams save Cesar Luis. You know what? In blitz pickup twice, Cesar got to work on his awareness. It is really poor. Play your area better. Look for work, blind Caesar. I, Cesar Reeves is improved, bro. He's still not there. Remember, you know, yeah, and I know just it was a couple of ones I seen with Jamal Williams gotten in, and yeah, I know which ones you're talking about. Yeah, but Cesar Ruiz, he need. I wouldn't say it's poor, bro, but it needs work. But he's coming along, bro. So appreciate your commentary on that. All right, all right. Kelvin says, shout out. Kelvin says, I agree. In Taurus, we have to sign Zeke. He may not be as elusive, but he blocks really good, and he's a goal line monster. That would be interesting to a lot of our cowboy people out there, like my girl Tasha, who would love for us to pick up Zeke Elliott. Now, he's one. Me personally, I know a lot of the family members are saying, "Hey, man, uh, Caesar salad. Come on, Trey, don't do him like that, bro." He ain't Caesar salad Ruiz no more, bro. He's Ruiz. He handling the business, man. He was, arguably one of the most solid linemen we had last year, and he'll improve, man. He got Doug Marone there, and he got Jari Evans there, so he should get a lot better, man. Y'all crazy with them emojis, man. I guess I could be to blame for that because I was the one calling the man Caesar Salad Ruiz, man. But anyway, this is another thing we talk about here is Zeke Elliott is interesting. I don't hear too many people reaching out. That's a new one on Zeke Elliott. I think a lot, I mentioned Leonard Fournette. I thought Leonard Fournette would be a good back for what you need him to be. The Saints are looking to improve upon the power game. Leonard Fournette has a ton of experience. He's healthy. He's a north-south runner. He also catches the ball out the backfield. He's a local guy from here. There's not anybody beating his door down, so you can get him for the veteran minimum. And he's a guy that you can trust. So I was thinking that made a lot of sense when Bob, shout out to Bob Rose, Saints News Network, when he put that article out there, he kind of put Leonard at the top of the list and he gave you several other options there. But I was thinking, I was like, that would be a good move for the Saints to kind of bring Leonard Fournette in here to act as a backup running back. Now I don't know exactly what Zeke Elliott is looking for, but I know he's not trying to do what a Kareem Hunt is doing, like Kareem Hunt trying to get a bag. Delvin Cook is trying to get a bag. I think he ultimately kind of playing until he getting close and close to regular season, so he don't have to do too much preseason work. I really think that's what that dude doing. But eventually, I think those guys will get what they're getting. And I didn't think, to be honest, I hadn't thought about Zeke Elliott being a guy that we would look at, bringing here. I guess the guy he could help. He got a ton of experience too. But if I had a choice between the two, like man, I would love to see Leonard Fournette just because I feel like to me it would kind of complete things like Leonard Fournette, like he from St. Aug, from the city. He went to LSU. He was a star there. He gets drafted into the league, goes to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He helps Tampa Bay win a championship. I mean, not Tampa, but he didn't go to Tampa. He went to the Jaguars. Pardon me. He went to the Jaguars. Spent many years there. They put him in the street. Tampa Bay gets him. He helps Tampa Bay over the last several years get him a Super Bowl. In the game against the playoff game against the Saints, it was Leonard Fournette that was catching the ball and causing hell, and he was the main reason why we kind of lost that playoff game. Leonard Fournette started to get funky on the Saints defense in that matchup. So I thought, like, getting him, seeing him with the black and gold gear on, with the helmet, the Fleur de Lis on, with on a team with Elvin Kamara and Jamal Williams, I just thought that would just be like, that would be so cool to see that happen. But I'm not mad at Zeke Elliott. It'll be interesting to see. But we'll see exactly. Okay, Tedra says it's just a sprained ankle. That's what you're saying, Tedra? All right, Justin says Q. Last season, Winston had some type of resistance against DA, supposedly because of Dalton. Winston on the team and making stride. Media is a mess. Thank you, Jesse. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. All right, shout out to my brother Eric for being a member for 16 months. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Much love. Diana says I was looking for Kamara and Hill to be on the field throughout the game. Shout out to you, Diana. I think we did see Taysom Hill later in the game. Remember, you seen Taysom make the catch there. The Saints was using them late. I was actually thinking that we would see, like, in the second half of the game, that we'll see like Jake Hayner, but we also would see Taysom Hill as a quarterback. We didn't see that, did we, family? We didn't we yeah, yes, yeah, it's home state bias. That's right. That's how I feel. But back to the Taysom point. I thought that they would miss Taysom Hill, mix him in with Jake Hayner in the second half, but that didn't happen. They just gave it to Hayner to see what he can do. I guess that's cool, but I really wanted to see Taysom because they said that they're going to be doing more of the Taysom Hill stuff. It's just odd to me, and I know it's just one preseason game that we didn't see a lot of that or any of that. I don't think any of that, if my recollection is correct. I don't remember Taysom Hill seeing very much of anything of the Taysom Hill packages. What do you guys think about that? So yeah. All right. Tasha got the inside game. She's cute. She talked to Zeke. He ain't come. That's fine, Tasha, because guess what? We got the dial we call the Leonard Fournette. So that's fine. We got the Leonard Fournette. You know what I'm saying? You can tell him to keep on stepping. You can tell him to go on over there and keep on going until he run into the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They might have a job out for him. Tell him don't go. He can go to the Falcons too because we're gonna knock all the feathers off of them anyway. So there you go. All right. So anyway, all right. Yeah, Jermaine says, yeah, keep it Taysom from under center. Yeah, keep it. That's what I was thinking. I was like, okay, we're gonna see Taysom more. We didn't see any of that. Maybe we'll see that in the second preseason game. But I guess the Saints really wanted to see what Jake Hayner looked like, man. And Jake Hayner did some positive stuff out there too. All right, AJ says we can't give away the Taysom sauce. I think everybody know what Taysom gonna do, bro. Taysom Hill get out there to the field. What he do is, you know what he do. He gets out there and he turns into a running back. So I mean, I don't know how they gonna put a spin on that thing. For the last several years since we've been seeing the Taysom Hill experiment in New Orleans, the one thing the Saints haven't done is balance the damn thing. You know what I'm saying? If they would balance it where he throws and passes almost equally, could you not imagine what that could be? Somebody's going to get that right. Perhaps the Saints get it right, but it is something very ingenious about what Sean Payton tried to do, which is create two offenses that you had to account for as a rival defensive coordinator. You have your regular offense with Derek Carr, and you have your secondary offense with Taysom Hill. So you can imagine if Derek Carr is struggling in the game and Taysom Hill is not struggling, that can be a whole nother thing. But the Saints, I ain't gonna say they don't have the discipline, but I'm gonna just say that because I think that's pretty fair to say. I haven't seen them balance it off where it's a 50-50 thing or even a 60-40 thing. He runs too much. And I know he gains and gets yardage with it, but that's it's too one dimensional almost to the point where it's predictable. And that's why I felt like if you can't balance it and make it more unpredictable, you need to get rid of it because you're gonna get them hurt. They all piling up to the line of scrimmage. When soon as he runs in there, they all load the box. Now, sometimes, don't get me wrong, he runs through these poor teams that's poor blocking and he gets a big play, but that's the hard way to get it. Now, if he was a guy, now when he gets in there and he learns, I just say learn 5 really good passing plays, and we'll cycle between those 5 plays for Taysom Hill. That was my fix for it. They can't seem to get that. And I don't know, most of the times I see when Taysom goes out there, I think not most of the time, but some of the times Taysom is looking to be a passer. He just doesn't have the patience to stay back there. Like if you watch the footage, he'll get the snap and then he'll stand like he'll get in his stance like he's about to throw the ball, and he doesn't go through none of he'll look to the left. He doesn't span through none of his progressions and he'll just take the hell off. And I'm like, was that supposed to be a pass play? So even though he likes to say he's a quarterback, I mean, when he gets in there, he doesn't become he needs to learn to be, I'd say 5 passes, family. Just 5 pass plays that he mastered. Just give him 5. And then you cycle through those pass plays when he's out there and he's still a threat to run. And listen, the opposing defenses, they stack the box. You might have a single high safety there, and they got one-on-one to the wide receivers and people out there so Taysom can make the throw. And also another thing he got to work on is accuracy too, especially the deep ball accuracy. It's not good. He'll be throwing the ball 5 yards ahead of the receiver. Sometimes he'll be throwing the ball 2 yards behind the receiver. So he got to prove upon that. I think that is the main thing. If they can really impress me, if they can get that together. All right. Speaking of quarterbacks, here's Derek Carr. Y'all put one in the chat if y'all can hit.
It felt good. Felt efficient. It was nice to get a couple situations in there and get third down. Get some red zone and all that stuff. Because again, they don't tell us like how much we're going to play and all that. So to get a couple situations in there, and then throughout the game to talk through things with Pete and certain situations and things like that in a game time scenario. It was good. It was a lot of fun.
Probably not,
being on this
Jamaica.
side of
Probably
things in the
not.
dome. I can get used to this place. It's a lot of fun.
About half the starting quarterbacks in the league haven't played in these openers. Well, why did you like it? And obviously to have it go as well as it did, how much is that valid?
Soon, my brother, soon.
Well, when I
talked
woke
to
up this
Lou the
morning,
other day,
everything was
soon.
new to me. Where's pregame meal? Where do I followed Eric McCoy in. I was like, bro, I don't know where to go to park. Like, can I follow you? And as soon as I got in here, Reg was showing me everything there is in the locker room. I was like, all right, where's the shower? Where's the snacks? Like all that stuff. So I was, everything was new. So for me to get out there, more importantly, and play football, in the stadium, this time when it wasn't loud, and we can operate and do those kind of things, it was important to me to do that. It doesn't matter how old I am and how many years I played in the NFL, to do it with a new group, all new receivers, and for everyone to be in there and playing, I think is a mark of this team that any chance we can get to go out there and coach will let us, we just want to compete and play.
Derek, I know when we ask about wide receivers, we often ask about Michael Thomas,
Yeah.
Olave, and so that. But what have you seen from Keith Kirkwood over the course of the offseason?
So Keith Kirkwood was someone, we had 3 lifting groups, and we would always lift at that 6:30 group. And at 6 a.m., I'd be like, whoever wants to meet me there, I'll be there at 6 a.m. to throw these new routes and these kind of things. And Keith was there every single time. And, after practice, I always run extra. Keith, as you guys see, he's always right there next to me, running extra with me. And if we don't see each other, we make sure that we check in. Did you do it? All that kind of stuff. And, I think that it's his hard work and his determination. He's a veteran player. He understands what it takes. And I'm just really proud of him, to be able to get a touchdown, and I know it's a preseason game, but they still all feel good.
There were some things you think you could have done better than that.
Well, we had a false start, and I'll look at that and I always put false starts on myself. Was there something in the communication process that I didn't do right? Everyone wants to look at the jersey number that they put it on, but I have a lot to do with that too. So I got to look at that, and I'll always try and put those on me. Because I'm always trying to deflect from those guys as much as I can. Because again, if there's a way that I can help us be better, that's all I'm looking to do. And so I'll check in with those guys, especially after we watch it. Especially with what kind of play it was and what we were trying to do. Is there something there that I could have done better to help them out?
Derek, can you tell how well the offensive line, the starting offensive line, is gelling together in a training camp setting when there's no momentum and they're not even in pass all the time? Did this match how you felt those 5 guys were feeling?
Yeah, when the practices, when we have those 5 guys out there in practice all together, sometimes some guys are limited and things like that. But when they're all 5 out there, it's like, wow, this is pretty impressive. And that's the first thing I told them when we came off the field. I was like, I got to go through reads and make decisions, play quarterback. I appreciate it, fellas, because those guys, man, they did a great job on that. I mean, it's one drive, but it's okay to get excited about it. It's professional football, and I think those guys are really good players. And we'll watch the film, and there's going to be things that they'll want to fix and that I'll want to fix. But just playing the game and being able to see things and all that, I thought they did a great job.
And we had talked to you. I think the question was about Alvin Kamara way back in the offseason. You said sometimes I'm going to throw that.
Shout out, brother Ryan. Yeah, Jimmy was out there. I ain't see much of Foster Moreau either, man.
This offense proposes to be, I guess.
Yeah, and hopefully, our skill guys just continue to understand, like, one guy may have 10 catches in a game and you may have 2. And that may happen for 2 weeks, and then boom, you're going to have 12. It just, we have to be able to play that way and play selflessly, and I believe that we have a group that will do that, because boom, everybody's catching the ball, bam, bam, bam. First plays for Chris, then we go to AK, then we, find Jawan, then we find Mike, then we, everyone's touching it, and then all of a sudden Keith gets a touchdown, and so everyone did the cardio, and Keith got the reward, and hopefully our guys understand that that's just how we're going to have to play if we want to do the things that we want to do.
You know what? And let me stop it right there, fam. He's absolutely right. We talk about what Carr talking about. Remember, we talked about this on show. This is going back to the lore, the history of the Saints. We seen, during the game, you seen Drew Brees get up there, and he was talking about Derek Carr and how he feels that he'll mix into the culture and what kind of quarterback he's going to be. But he makes a great point about it. He's like, yeah, Mike got one, Elvin got this, The big players, the bigger name superstar players got it, but Keith Kirkwood gets the reward to get the touchdown. That's because the big names are drawing the attention of the defense, and less on guys they making it happen. Remember, that's what we used to do when we were really at the peak running this thing. Like, we were top 5 offense, because the Mike Thomas will be out there. They'll make it all go, and then they'll lose focus on another wide receiver. Then you'll see Lance Moore tearing them up. You see Jerome Payton catching a touchdown. You see the other guys that's not the superstar players start making stuff shake, and that's how we were able to be so difficult to stop, because we had all these different people, and you didn't know who would shine on either given day. And plus, a lot of times the defensive coordinator's mentality is, we're gonna pick who if you beat us with Keith Kirkwood, you deserve to win the game. You're not gonna beat us with Michael Thomas. You're not gonna beat me with Chris Olave. You're not gonna beat me with whomever. But Keith Kirkwood kills you. James Washington might kill you. A.T. Perry killed you. A.T. Perry was out there. He called a touchdown. He had 6 targets, 6 catches. A.T. Perry was doing his thing out there. So that's what I'm saying. Like, our big guys, our star players, draw the attention of the defense, and our lesser known players are killing you out there. Jawan Johnson made some plays out there today. So a lot of people are looking forward to that. So he's right. If we get back to that, man, that's Saint football there.
Because if we can be, if we can do that and spread it out evenly.
Still broken? It's working now.
Hey, we're working through some stuff.
How excited or anxious were you as you woke up this morning and started to get ready?
I was very excited. No anxiety. I've been doing this like a decade. Like that's when I look in the mirror sometimes and I see the gray hairs. It does feel like a decade, but like it doesn't feel like it goes so fast. But the nerves, like just you're not nervous anymore. You just want to go out there and execute and play at a high level. And so I was really excited. And I'll tell you what, I was really excited when we turned left right here and started coming down. The lights were off. They started playing a little music and all. I was like, oh yeah, now it's time. So that got the juices flowing. But I tried my best. I am an emotional, excited person. I try my best to stay like this so I don't throw the first one, into the stands, But it's hard not getting excited coming out to that intro.
Yeah, the only thing is we got to, when they get the get crunk thing been going on for a long time, fam. But I ain't gonna lie, We got to get out. We got to get the great same thing tank theme up in there somehow, some way. So some of the family members out there, they got a little pull over there with the DJ up there. Slide them the song, man. We got it because that'll get it shaking and popping, man. That Yin Yang Twins throwing, and we've been rocking that for a while, but this is a new era of football in the city. And listen, we need something that's popping, man. So if somebody can slide the theme to the DJ up there, hey man, much love to you. Brother Derek, how you doing, sir? Says AQ. Geis is available. He recently said he wanted to come and join the Saints. Did he? Did he really say that, Derek? Did he say that? Well, man, listen. Oh man, I don't know. You know what? It's crazy. I don't know if I say the term is crazy, but Geis is very much still a young running back in this league. I don't know if anybody's going to, I think right now he's been away for a while, and I don't know. That's like, I don't know. That's, I think they probably wouldn't go in that direction because teams are so willing and paying attention to bad press, especially press tied to certain things. They don't want deal with you or touch you. Now, granted, there was a situation with it happened with Carl Granderson. The Saints stuck by him because they believed in him. This Darius Geis thing is it's a lot different. I don't know if they go with Geis. I don't know, fam. I don't know. I would look at it and say, okay, if somebody else take a chance on him and let them get the blowback or whatever it is, and then if he doesn't make it right there and you have a running back situation, you might look at it. But I don't know if the Saints will be the first team out the gate to connect to Darius Geis. Because hey, listen, Darius Geis was phenomenal at LSU when he was there after Leonard Fournette on the field. Now everything else that happened after that destroyed his career, you know, not saying that he can't gain redemption because that's what this is all about, right? You know, we if you do, we believe in giving people second chances. But I don't know about the Darius Geis thing. I don't know, bro. I don't know. If I was looking at an LSU Tiger, it'd probably be Leonard. I'm gonna say that because the money would be even though his I guess upside he's younger. I don't know if you stumped me on that one, brother. I don't know about that, my brother. I don't know about that. All right, but thank you for the question. Shout out to you, D. 54 Coach says Q definitely we need to send. Yeah, bro, we need to get the Great Saint Think Tank theme song up there, man. We got because that old Cronkite song, we got them people, man. Them Atlanta Falcon people, man. They putting on Saint jerseys and doing all that stuff. How we go and see that's one thing low them. They not they see if they was really on it they go like, Q, how you talking all of that stuff? And the people that did y'all theme song is two Atlanta Falcon people. See, and I was yeah, that was kind of stickier. But see, them Atlanta people ain't up on that. You know what I'm saying? They too busy trying to paste all these feathers back on their body after we done blown them all off. But see, my thing is, he can get you there. They can stick it to the Who That Nation. Like, man, y'all ain't got no artists that can do y'all own song. We got tons of people. We got Juvie, we got all these other people, but it took Black Suede to come and shout out to my dog Black Suede, the great same thing tank and Who That Nation to put together a fire song. So whoever got a little pull, maybe I need to talk to Mickey about it. He might know the DJ over there. We need to get him up on that thing, man. That's what's popping. That's what's popping. All right. So anyway, fam, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I seen him dancing to help Molly Mall on the chopper style. But they can stick it to us, man, on that Atlanta Falcon stuff, man. Like how y'all such and such. See, they can't see. I'm always on the offensive with Atlanta. I don't give them time to think. But they could hit us if they was thinking about the Yin Yang boys, two Atlanta-based rappers that's from Atlanta that's from that area anyway, doing a theme song for the dude. That should be sacrilegious. And whoever had the idea to go and do that, let's go get the Yin Yang twins to do a Saint theme. If they ain't a lady, if it is a guy, then we might have to find them and shake their hand and give them a gut punch because you kind of that was kind of sneaky. I don't know if you was thinking you wasn't thinking that day, to go and get Atlanta people to do theme songs for the Saints. You heard me. But man, we gotta bring it back to we gotta bring it back home, baby. We gotta change all that. All right, shout out to the fam. All right, Big Sean said he liked the Leonard Fournette idea. Yeah, it would be good, man, to get him. You got LSU guys on the field. I think it would be pretty cool, man. Let's finish up on this.
Johnson, there was one from there where it looked like he had to handle a little bit of pressure,
Yeah, I was happy because usually, some teams won't blitz, in the preseason. They won't, or if they do, it's just someone off the slot. Like, it's just easy stuff. And they walked up in there, double A's, double mugs another time. They give us different looks all game. And for my drive, it was nice to get someone blitzed in the A gap. I was fired up, because now I get to move and work on my stuff in a live scenario. And it was a great pickup. So, yeah, it was satisfying because those are the realest reps it gets. Like, they can hit me out there, And so for our guys to be able to, with that in their mind, like, do their jobs and execute, everyone, most time you can do it the physical part, but the mental side to make the right point and make the right calls and pick them up and do all that. Everyone did their assignments. Everyone gets excited about the skill players and the points, but it doesn't happen until we do that part right first. And so I was really proud of that.
Derek, we saw you,
Jake Hayner? I was proud of him. When he came off after the interception, I said, who else threw a pick in their first preseason game? He started laughing. And I was like, just keep cutting it loose, man. There's a long half. We're going to win this thing. And I didn't know we'd win it the way that we did. But I was really proud of him. And he's going to be a good player for a long time because he works really hard and he cares. And he's good. So I was really proud of him. And the more reps he gets, he'll just keep getting better.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting, man. You think about the connections, and you almost think about if it's predestination to a degree. When you think about a guy like Jake Hayner, who's a member of the New Orleans Saints, who was drafted to be a Saints quarterback, a potential future quarterback going down the line, it's very unique how the circumstances ran out. Number one, Jake Hayner is from Fresno State, so is Derek Carr, current $150 million quarterback. Carr had influence on drafting Jake Hayner to come here because he was looking beyond the 4 years and say, listen, I'll handle the 4. And then when I'm done, Jake Hayner's your guy. So in his mind, he's setting the Saints up for the next, 5 to 8 years, depending on what it looks like, right? So you got the Fresno State connections right there. Then you talk about Saint connections outside of Carr being here, that Hayner, as a child, was wearing Drew Brees jerseys and idolizing Drew as he got older and playing football and modeled this game after Drew. Now he's a quarterback on it's just, all that stuff happens. Just crazy how it all works out, right? The harmony and the synergy of how this stuff works out. Very unique circumstance, man. And, that's something. Let me just say that.
Yeah, I haven't gotten to talk to him too much. I just a little bit before I walked in here, but I mean, it was for them putting on black and gold for the first time. It was probably a little weird because when I put that uniform on and I went in the mirror,
Candlestick Park, I remember that.
Jake walked up. He's like, "That looks weird." He said, "I was like, I know, bro. I've been in the same place for 9 years, but it may look weird, but it felt right." I told DA that earlier this week. I just feel refreshed. I feel rejuvenated, and to put that uniform on and come out and be a Saint, it felt really good. And so I know my wife was excited about today, and my three boys. My little girl, she don't care. She was yelling touchdown Raiders the other day. I was like, we got to fix that. But my 3 boys, they were so fired up. I got to see them before the game. It was really cool for me. They were on the field. And so, those are memories that we'll have forever. I'm sure that, they're gonna know more about this game than I will. They're like, man, did you see AT's catch on? They'll know all those things. And so, I'm sure when I see them, they'll be real excited.
Derek, speaking of AT, how big is this I know it's preseason, but how big is this for his confidence going through camp to haul in a big play like that?
I think it's good it's the National Football League, it's not easy out there. It's one thing to watch it from one point of view, but when you're in it in full speed game, live reps where they can hit you and all those kind of stuff, and you got to read it right and make the right decisions. For him to go out there and play the way he did, I was so proud of him. But for all the young guys, I thought that they, whether they started slow or started fast, I thought everyone just settled in and just started playing football. And that's what the preseason's for, for everyone to just knock the rust off, all those things you've been working on in camp, doing it in the live game, and for them to see like, oh, man, that does work, or man, oh, coach, that that what coach was telling me was right, and so a lot of that was happening today. But I was really proud of him. He was featured today.
That's fire, Pelicans,
He was
Nola.
getting
That'll
the
be
ball
fire,
out, so
man.
it was
I
good.
encourage that, fam. If y'all in TikTok and man, throw the theme on there. You know what? That's a great idea with people dancing to it. That would be fire, man. Y'all do that, man, and show me videos of
Yeah,
y'all
I mean,
dancing to
throughout
the
the
theme
season,
song, stuff like
it's
that.
going to take
We'll
everybody
share it.
in the
We'll get it
building
going.
to
Pelicans, no, that's a great
win.
idea.
And
Thank you for that.
if we're all pushing in the same direction, we'll be able to do it. And for the young guys to get in there, the camaraderie, the confidence that they'll have now. That man, we the young guys, the third group went in there and they got the ball back for each other. They went down and scored and they knocked a field goal. I mean, what that does for their confidence is unbelievable, and that only helps our whole team be better. And so I think, especially the way that we won, I think it's only a good thing. But like DA said, whether it's regular season or preseason, we don't care. Like if we're strapping it on, you're going out there. You're not going out there to try and lose and be okay with it. Like we're going out there to win, and we were happy we were able to do that.
Yeah, Lo says when
No.
when the Saints, when we doing something, we positive, he has a term that the Atlanta Falcons family members use. Well, he uses called getting naked, and that's a term where he described it as when you are excited about something your team is doing, and you're talking about it in an exciting way. Yet his term, he calls that motion or that action getting naked. You're like if you love Derek Carr, you're getting naked for Carr. It sounds weird. I don't use that verbiage. I'm just explaining to you that Lo uses that verbiage if you listen to his show. Shout out to my dog Lo. So what I was thinking was, I was saying, you know what, with the Derek Carr situation and the excitement around the Saints, is all of them are feeling good about their teams. Atlanta beat the Dolphins. Saints take care of business here against the Chiefs. I think Carolina Carolina lost. I won't say. Didn't Carolina lose? I'm not certain on them. I don't know what happened with Tampa Bay, but the three teams, like, and I think the order would go Saints, Falcons, and Carolina. No disrespect to Carolina. I think they'll be better. I just think you you have a rookie quarterback, and I'm not anticipating him taking you into a deep playoff run. I think year 2, 3, and all that, absolutely. But the first year, he got to figure out what the game is about. And just looking at the first preseason matchup with Carolina, he got tore up out there. I mean, not tore up, but he got knocked down several times when he was out there. I mean, the line was guys was blitzing in, just taking shots on him. And imagine 6 games or 6 to 7 weeks into the regular season, and you're watching him take that kind of a punishment. How long is it before he gets knocked out of the game? I think Carolina has problems with their offensive line. You spent a lot of money getting the weapons around him, and the offensive line is still very suspect. He took a lot of shots in that game that he shouldn't have taken. And he if they don't fix that and that keeps happening, of course he's not going to make it through a full season. It's just too much to ask for him to do that. So I'm not saying that they can't fix that, but for right now, based on what I'm seeing, they got to improve that. But I still say, because he's a rookie quarterback, I'm not putting too much on his plate right now. I can still say they do better. They'll improve underneath him in terms of having exciting football, and I don't think they'll have the type of success they're looking for until next year, the year 2, year 3, and beyond. I think Atlanta is the closest team to us in the NFC South, strictly because they have an identity already established right now, and that is a portion of a great deal of the battle to figure out what you are. To decide on what are you going to be going into the season. Are you going to be this type of team, or are you going to be that type of team? Atlanta has it figured out. They're going to be a hard running, north south running, battering ram team that controls the clock and plays hellified defense. And they have solid kicking game with I forgot the guy, the kicker with the weird name. Not weird name, but he got a very unique name, and I like him a lot. He's probably one of the best kickers in the game. When they found that kid, they really came up on something. But That's what they spent the $100-something million on the defense, to have a knockdown, drag out defense, and to run the ball and control the clock, have Desmond Ritter to operate as a game manager. That's the game plan. And when I seen what they were drafting, what they were doing, and the pieces they were adding, I said, okay, I see what y'all trying to do here. I see what y'all gonna try to do. But the only problem is they can't get in the shootouts with the Saints. You can't get in it with that kind of mind state. You can't get in the shootouts with the Saints because we go up 17 points on them and it's over with, and you got dinky donkey do going on out there. That's they got to play more dominant ball control, try to take as many possessions away from you by running the ball and controlling the clock, that type of stuff. But in the end, that's what I said. They're closer to us, and when I say closer, it's still a bit of a Grand Canyon sized chasm between the Saints and the Atlanta Falcons in the NFC South in my book, because of the obvious difference in talent and not talent, just talent, but experience. You got a 10-year quarterback with a chip on his shoulder that has seen, different styles of offense. He's very comfortable in the the West Coast offenses that we use, very familiar with it. You give them all of the talent that we have around them. I don't have to list them. Y'all already know. And then, of course, you take a look at the things the Saints have added. So obviously, and you look across the way, you see Atlanta got a young quarterback who started 2 games. Carolina got a rookie quarterback, and Tampa Bay got Baker Mayfield, who threw like 7 interceptions in the first several days of preseason. Had people looking at Kyle Trask as a starter because he just kept throwing interceptions in practice. Not even close. But things do change, and I don't think it change in terms of Carolina usurping Atlanta chasing the Saints. I just feel like the Saints understand that they got big aspirations than knocking over the NFC South guys. I think the NFC South will improve greatly going forward. But I think, everybody's kind of enthused about their team right now. And that enthusiasm disappears when we start smacking and knocking feathers off of people and start taming the cats and sinking the boats of pirates that's coming at you, claiming they want to get a dub. So, that's how it is. Let's finish up with Carr and we'll go.
We laughed about a couple things that maybe our defense may know.
There you go. That dude's phenomenal, man. Young Hoku,
and all that kind of stuff. But we didn't talk about this. I think I've been playing for a while. If I was a young guy, there's certain questions I ask him and asked him beforehand and all that kind of stuff. But there's certain things now that he's not like, "Are you okay? You ready to go for the first?" He doesn't have to do that kind of thing. But we were able to talk about just how big of an impact the things that he said to me ended up me being
falling
here.
through the flow,
brother.
That's one of the old ones I always say.
They've proven it. That's what you said is what they're doing, and so I think just from that relational standpoint, took us to another level because everything he said was true. And they've proven it. Mickey and everybody's proved it so far.
Could you get the crowd when they introduced you as a starter?
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, they were loud. That was awesome. And I think there's some Chief fans yelling at me too. So.
Maybe one more for Derek.
Did you really follow Eric McCoy all the way into there, or just in the building?
Oh yeah, like from the hotel, he waited for me. I'm not gonna say the street's name because I'm screwed up, but he was down there and I pulled out and I waved to him. He's like, "All right, come on." And then I followed him all the way to my parking spot. It's the first time for everybody.
Drew Brees got lost.
That's a mouthful right there, knocking the feathers off.
They did tell me that story.
Taming the kitty cat and sinking the pirates.
Made sure I had someone to follow.
With that weak ship they got
Who
over
better
there.
than
Absolutely,
your center,
Dan.
So it's good. Thanks, guys. Yep.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Carr. Appreciate you there, sir. And as we keep it going, man, shout out to the fam, man. This was a pretty damn good game today. Saints get the biz. 26-24, knocking off the Chiefs. And the fun thing about the preseason games, I'm not a big supporter of the preseason games, but it's what I be looking at, like when you have a team like the Saints this year and they have all of these different pieces or players that they bringing into it, like Derek Carr is here. People want to see if Carr fits with the Saints. And from a standpoint, you look at the film, and I wasn't a big Carr supporter when he came here, but I didn't shun the move. I understood what they were doing. But when you look at the characteristics that Carr brings, it helps the Saints. Like we had leadership voids at the quarterback position last year. We don't have that this year. We had Jameis, who was a deep ball thrower last year, but Carr is another guy. That's his best throw, is throwing the deep ball out there. I mean, he has several really good catch throws, but remember the end zone throw was really nice when he found Keith Kirkwood to the right corner of the end zone. I was like, man, that was a really well thrown pass out there, and for him to see the field and then deliver the ball out there, it was perfect. He put it right where it was supposed to be. Kirkwood didn't have to reach out or dive for it. He put it right on him. I was like, okay, cool, that's pretty cool. He also was very comfortable behind his offensive line. That was really good. We seen Jamal Williams, he was doing good running. Elvin Kamara looked good as well. Michael Thomas made a catch and was out there blocking as well. We know Chris Olave had an issue. I think he dropped the pass out there. We didn't see too much from him. Rashid Shaheed is, of course, out for the preseason right now. He kind of banged up. We'll see him when we get close to the regular season. But in the end, I thought from the first team standpoint that the what we were fixating in on, or here I go, fam. I'm about to say my new favorite word, focalizing. When we start focalizing on the quarterback position and we start looking at what he was doing and how he was operating with the rest of his teammates, we seen a lot of really positive things happen there. And you can see he's comfortable there, and we can build on to this. And we talk about identity, of the team. What kind of identity do the Saints have going forward? Because Carr is a guy he is a leader. He's a positive guy. He does have a bit of a mean streak in him too. Like he's very competitive. Go out there. He goes and celebrates with the guys, stuff like that, and people like him. He's a likable character. So those type of characteristics should take us far. And look, we getting this guy here, and he's been 10 years in the league. Yes, and like I said, I like the experience that he has. The fact that he had all those coordinators, it gave him an ability to kind of adapt to to different schemes rather quickly. I think that he'll have a similarly smooth transition from what he was learning with Raiders last year to what the Saints was doing. I also can acknowledge and like the fact that a lot of the issues that I had per se, not just with the team talent wise, but I was looking at the coach and I was like, okay, Dennis Allen is a hell of a defensive coach. He's a hell of a defensive coordinator, but he leaves a lot less for he lacks a lot in terms of being a head coach. So how do you bridge the gaps that he has to be a better head coach? Well, we can see the philosophy was he's adding guys like Joe Woods, the defensive coordinator, to take the pressure off of him as a defensive coordinator, so he can just focus on just doing what he do. Now he's just gonna still call. He's still going to call the plays there, but Joe Woods, everybody reports to Joe Woods, and he kind of wipes his hands to that degree. And one guy reports to him, and he loves and trusts Joe Woods. Okay, I like that move. I also like the move that did, despite the chagrin of a few family members that's out there that don't like what Gruden's what had going on. Even though I think I read that he apologized for some of that stuff, and he's suing the league for stepping on his name a bit by releasing those emails. The John Gruden thing was interesting, even though I think it was more Carr than it was Dennis Allen. I think it was more Derek Carr doing that than it was Dennis Allen. Bringing Gruden in here several weeks back, and then he was in here several days ago helping Carr for an extended period of time, kind of acclimate. And the first time they were saying he was trying to help Carr understand the principles of the Saints West Coast offense, right? And then it was the second time around he was explaining to him, oh, he's here to teach Carr and to observe the running back. I'm not the running back, the offensive brass, whether it was Ronald Curry or Pete Carmichael, the current offensive coordinator. So he was saying, observe what they're doing, and there was pictures and film and video that you could see online that was showing off into the distance Gruden watching Carmichael talk to Carr and advise him. He had a play sheet there. Even though, I bust out that my theme song for the Autobots and the Transformers, more than meets the eye. I busted it out, but I was like, man, there's something more going on than what's going on here. This is the second time coming here, and it could be a spot here. But regardless of not if it isn't, or if it isn't, it's still a fact that they went to that length to reach that level because John Gruden is very knowledgeable with that West Coast offense. And for him to come in here and fine tune or tweak or try to see if he can improve something in the offense with Carr to run Saints offense better was a big gap. That was a massive chasm that a Mississippi sized river bridge went over that chasm that to get us from one side to the other. So Dennis Allen's philosophy is to bring in guys that he trusts and know that are very knowledgeable to help him feel some of the shortcuts that he had as a head coach. And notice to just today's game, how Dennis Allen looked out there. He wasn't nervous. He wasn't kind of had an irritated look on his face or whatever. He was very relaxed. He was very calm, and it's a different vibe and energy that's around him, that's around the team in general, and he represents that. So if you see him calm and relaxed and and feeling pretty good about himself, that speaks to the energy of what's in that building. So something special's cooking down on Airline Drive and the NFC South. No disrespect to my brothers at the PNP camp, my dog Big Low and Big Game James. No disrespect, but the Saints, man, we known for cooking stuff down here. We known for cooking stuff down here and cooking up stuff. And the Saints are in a lot of the shout out to some of the national journalists. They were naming this before a lot of the Who Dats because we had that Glenn Jones on. We had our Glenn Jones blasting full blast after what happened last year. And even though it's one preseason game, it's still something very positive, man, that we're looking out for. So pretty cool. All right. Chase says, smoke Carr can bring us to the yeah. I agree, man. Carr, man, listen, it's all about health, right? If we can stay healthy and do what we got to do, I think the Saints, for the lackings, the shortcomings we had last year, um, I I think it's something special, especially when you look at and see everything. It's not just Carr per se, right? He's a part of the whole. He's a part of the ingredients that go into it, right? And just think about all the stuff the Saints added around Carr, and the fact that Jimmy Graham came here and said that he wants to win a championship, and he signed a 1 year contract. I'm like, Jimmy Graham, what is he doing here to be a coach? And I think Elvin, who said that? Tyron Matthew said, I thought they signed him as a coach. That's what I thought when I heard the say sign. I'm like, I know it ain't no as a tight end. We got enough tight ends. But it turned out that he was a tight end. So they brought him in here. He's happy. He's excited. All of the talent, Elvin Kamara, Jamal Williams. Jamal Williams is a huge sign. I love that one. That's one of my favorite ones. And then you talk about the maturation of Jawan Johnson. You talk about Michael Thomas being healthy, Chris Olave making the leap in the second year. Rashid Shaheed's going to be great. Not to mention the way A.T. Perry played today. And even shout out to John Trey Kirkland. How about John Trey Kirkland? We knew it, the kick returning game is down to two people now, it appears. We seen Lynn Bowden Jr. out there doing this thing. The Saints put Kiki Coty, our old kick returner, in the street to open up a spot for Jalen Smith, the linebacker. So it's really the kick returning duties between Lynn Bowden Jr., who number 84, and John Trey Kirkland, who had a couple of phenomenal returns in the game. So in the end, man, the Saints are doing a really good job of moving. We talk about all these fantastic players, Taysom and all these other guys. This is what he has to work with. And they're looking at it, and John Gruden was bucking his eyes watching it. And when you look at it, you know something special when you see it, because you don't see it every day. You know something special when you see it. You know what I mean? It's like seeing a Maybach drive through a blue collar neighborhood. You ain't gonna just look at it and turn your head. You're gonna like, what the hell? It's something, you know, extraordinary that's coming through here. And that's what the Saints look like, man. They look like a black and gold expensive Maybach, baby. That's what the Saints look like driving through a blue collar neighborhood. Let me tell you something. You're gonna take a couple of peeks, won't you? Gonna take some peeks there, baby. All right. Anyway, all right, let's keep it going, man, on this thing. Shout out to the fam, man. They got 240 plus of us. Let's hit that like button. Yeah, Foskey. Yeah, that's right. That's right, Pam. Focalize. We all focalizing, baby. That's the new one. Focalize. We got to focalize. All right. So anyway, listen. This is the thing that I looked at as well. Like you right on Isaiah Foskey, family. One of the family members was talking about Isaiah Foskey, number 55. Isaiah Foskey got out there with the backups there. And listen, the lineman that I like, if we go position by position, Carr looked good. Jameis looked good early on, kind of he even though his completion and attempts were all right, the optics of the game. Like you look at the statistics and then you look at the game, and sometimes they kind of look differently. The optics and the statistics don't line up. That's a little bit with Jameis toward the back end of the game when Jameis was feeling the pressure. And it wasn't totally all Jameis. It's just the offensive line was allowing people to hit him. He got sacked 3 times in the game, and you could tell that upset him to a degree when his eyes dropped. He got sacked 3 times. So when you usually get sacked multiple times, you getting hit before you getting sacked. So when you get knocked around and you getting sacked, your eyes tend to drop. They're not supposed to, because you're supposed to keep your eyes upfield, but your eyes tend to drop because you're watching out for guys coming. And you can see Jameis started really not trusting his offensive line anymore. And why should he? They letting him get knocked on. He getting hit. And then of course we know about Hayner. I thought A.T. Perry had a very good game. 6 catches on 6 targets, had a touchdown in the game. Really good, really effort touchdown. He caught the ball and then dived in there and made the play. Love how A.T. Perry stepped up. Trequan Smith, get ready and pack your damn bags. You could be going somewhere else. So, he looked good in the matchup. We knew that we seen a couple of plays from Jawan Johnson out there. We seen Jimmy Graham make a catch out there. Not much on Foster Monroe. Taysom had a catch or so. So not too much shaking from our tight end rums. Running backs, Elvin looked good. Jamal Williams looked good. Kendre Miller did not look good. And like I said, he got an MRI. He has to go through tomorrow dealing with a knee issue. So, maybe that was a part of it during the game that he kind of got, had. I don't know. And then, you see a guy like Ellis Merriweather, who's the last running back on the rotation, get a lot of reps in the second half. And Ellis Merriweather's a north-south thumper back that loves the contact. So the Saints giving him some burn. So I'm looking at it, I'm saying to myself, we could probably be seeing a veteran running back coming up in here pretty soon. Whether it be a hunt or somebody else, we'll just have to wait and see. And of course, we go on to the offensive line. We talked about the offensive lines. The starters did, well. The backups that need some work into game number 2 of the preseason matchup. Nick Saldiveri needs some help right there. Kelvin Throckmorton I wasn't too pleased with him. We had Mark Evans the second. He was kind of struggling a bit. He was undrafted guy, struggled a little bit in the game. Those are the few of the ones that kind of stood out with me. I wasn't impressed with Max Garcia in his first game with the Saints. Looked a little slow and sluggish to me. Got to improve. From the defensive line standpoint, I love how Saunders was in there doing his thing. Cam was providing the pressure when they were out there. Shepard, not too much from him, but you're seeing his effort. Brian uh, Brian Breesy, he was out there doing his thing as well. Not too much, you can see him was trying to get his legs about him, but you seen the effort, not much flashing, but you seen the effort there. And then later on, you seen Roach and all those guys step in there. Cage had a problem, he had a snafu in there as well in the matchup. But Isaiah Foskey, not much to be desired on his first preseason matchup. Not much shaking on that. With him going up against the fourth stringers and the third and the fourth stringers, I thought he'd get a little shine off on them. Didn't happen. Looking for a better performance from him, into the next preseason game. The linebackers, you talk about Ty Summer. Ty Summer, he had a pretty positive game. He played a lot of reps in there. He stepped up and made some plays. DeMarco Jackson did a few things. Nephi Sewell was in there as well. And then you go to the cornerbacks. Paulson Adebo was solid in the game. Liked him, like what I see from him. Alante Taylor had several positive plays. He did give up the deep pass because he got beat and he was in a trail position. Had he turned around a half a second when he got to the guy, he might have had a play on the ball. He just merely blindly swiped at it because he was trying to read the face of the cornerback. That lets me know that Alante Taylor is trying to be something on another level, because usually he has the speed to recover, and he could have turned and looked just for a second to see where that ball was, because you looking at the wide receiver and he turned in his hands, that's signifying you letting you know that ball is coming. It's going to be there in a second. So he got there a little late, got smoked out on that deep play right there. But, that's a part of the game. Remember, he coming into his sophomore season. So, we seen Paulson Adebo go through it. Alante Taylor, most of those guys go through that sophomore slump, so we have to be patient with him. And of course, other guys, Bradley Roby gave up a touchdown. Wasn't impressed with Bradley Roby in this game. Didn't communicate with the other safety, even though that was the defensive back he was with. Even though it was the other defensive backs, guys should have been a trade-off, because the guy was passing, you was passing them off, and they didn't communicate. It got mixed up, and that guy was wide open for a touchdown. That kind of helped spurred the Chiefs to kind of get the lead. That kind of, if that play never happened, we wouldn't have, we would have beat them a little bigger than what we did. But we have to work on that game. Got to communicate better. That's just a play where we got to communicate better on it. Hey, you got him, or whatever it is, and y'all just do what y'all got to do. You got to communicate that. And then everything else was We seen a few. I seen Smoke Monday out there. You know, I think he had one player hit. I want to say on Smoke Monday, did he hit a pop or something like that? Hugo Amadi had an interception. He made a few plays. I was watching him out there moving around the field. I told you he a ball hog. The guy has a he's like Tyrann Matthew, not like overall talent, but he's in the vicinity of where the ball is. He got a nose for the ball, meaning, and he's just undersized. But he's a guy that flashes on special team film, and he's a guy around the ball. He got an interception from a deflection from Alante Taylor. How about that? Alante deflected the ball, and Hugo Amadi came down with it. So, and then outside, there were a few other players to make note of. Marcus May was out there. He had a couple of good deflections of plays that he was doing well. And then guys on the, outside of that, Jordan Howden struggled a little bit in the game. He had a few positive plays, but he had a couple of struggles as well. He a rookie. And who else? Well, Jonathan Abram. I seen him out there. Not too much to talk about with Jonathan Abram. I think he had one play, like a tackle in the game or something like that. Not too much to talk about with him. Um, Not too much else to talk about from the defensive perspective. I thought the punters, Blake Gilligan, kind of that 25-yard punt, when he punted it, it went 24, 25 yards and went out at the 50. I was like, what? What's wrong with, and granted, I'd rather him do that in a preseason game than to do that in a regular season game. But, the backup punter going at him, he had a pretty good job punting, the kickers as well. So I don't know if there's ever been a situation, family, where if you have a practice squad and you have Will Lutz coming off an injury and you like, okay, let's stash a kicker on our practice squad, or if we have an issue with our punter, I would rather stash a kicker than a punter because I could find somebody to come and help me punt. I need a kicker, so it might be a situation where we have a spot for him for Group A on the practice squad because he's a good little young kicker. He kicked the winning kick there to help push the Saints into the winning column. So remember, we're learning, but it is good to win while you're learning. You see, it just hits differently than anything else. All right. So anyway, fam, y'all talk to me about how y'all feel about that thing as well. Yeah. Shout out to you. Barbara says Jameis O-line got him hurt last season. He wasn't confident behind that line. I'm not making mistakes. I mean, not mistakes, making up excuses for Jameis's mistakes, rather, what I mean. I'm just saying that he wasn't confident behind that line. He got sacked 3 times. He got hit a couple of times before he got sacked. So, I'll be feeling kind of shaky too. Like, man, what's up, dudes? Y'all, what's up, man? I treated y'all to Cracker Barrel. This is the best y'all can do. Yeah, that's how I'll be feeling about it. All right. Diana says the quarterback must be new. I was a little upset with him, especially when it came to the 2 points. All right. Shout out. All right. Eric says, Q, the special teams playing much better. Yeah, they did. They were actually blocking. That's what I was saying. Like I made mention that early in the show. I said, hey, fam, the special teams was actually, they were blocking to a degree. They were blocking, like blocking on our kick return, punt return. And you had a couple of good returns by John Trey Kirkland. I thought he was going to break one loose and get to the next level and take it. He got tackled by a linebacker or somebody around midfield, I want to say, or close to midfield. But I was like, yeah, man, that's what I'm talking about. So if we can just keep that energy going, we'll be all right. That's what I'm thinking. Anyway, all right, let's keep it going, family. All right. Yeah. Kevin says Lattimore did play. The Chiefs didn't. Yeah, they didn't look his way, and rightfully so. Slim says, want to punt, tell Taysom, throw it deep. That's right. Yeah. Tell him, Jerry. Jerry says that's why E.T. Perry will take Trequan Smith's job. Don't believe me? Just watch. Don't believe me? Just watch. Yeah, Trequan didn't. Listen, I don't know if Trequan was hurt, but Trequan didn't record a catch. I didn't see Trequan Smith at all out there. Did y'all correct me if y'all seen Trequan Smith out there on the field? Maybe we'll see him more of the game, but he did. I didn't see no Trequan Smith. He's not listed on. He didn't get a ball thrown his way. I didn't even see Trequan Smith, to be honest with you. Did anybody? Family got 240 plus of us in the building. Did anybody see Trequan Smith today on the field? Y'all tell me if you seen him. I didn't see him, and I tell you why we didn't see him. We didn't see Trequan Smith because we was looking at A.T. Perry. A.T. Perry is out making the catches. So all my Trequan Smithites that's out there, he didn't record nothing. A.T. Perry Was look, there he is right there. 6 catches, 70 yards, 12-yard average. Man had a touchdown and had 6 targets, 6 catches, 6 targets. That's perfect. I didn't see Trequan Smith at all out there because A.T. Perry was too busy getting all the smoke. Let me tell you something. All that stuff. Thank you. What's up, St. John Butler? What's up, my brother? How you doing, my sir? All right. Yes, sir. No, nope. I didn't see him. No, sir. We did not see him. He didn't play. And the reason why, because A.T. Perry was out there cooking. Papu said he hurt. Is he hurt, bro? I didn't. I don't know if Trequan Smith hurt. I didn't think he was hurt. What is he? What is his injury? Is he suffering from a lack of pride? I mean, did his pride get hurt? Is he hurt? Okay, yeah, they did say he won't play. Yeah, they say he hurt, bro. Groin. That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, yeah, I forgot. Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. You right, bro. You right. He did. That is true. It was Rashid Shaheed with the groin issue and Trequan Smith with the groin issue. They the reports came out to shut down Rashid Shaheed for several weeks. And Trequan Smith, they were saying that his was it appeared like his wasn't that serious. But listen, it might as well be a kick to the junk for Trequan Smith the way A.T. Perry showing out. Let me stop. Let me stop. Let me stop. Let me stop. I forgot. 504 code, and I cover this stuff all the time. That's how unbelievably easy it is for you to forget about Trequan Smith with all the stuff that's going on. So yeah, see, it might as well be a kick to the junk for Trequan Smith the way A.T. Perry out there cutting up. Yes, 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 yes. But man, listen, let me tell y'all something. Oh, Rasheed Phillips said, "What happened to Rasheed? He got a groin issue, bro. Yeah, he got a groin issue." All right, Deanna says, "No, that's what I'm saying. I didn't really hardly see the older players out there." Yeah, yeah, you're right. You're right, fam. I forgot about it. I covered it on the previous shows. Talk about Trequan Smith. Trequan got hurt around the same time Rashid Shaheed did. Rashid had a groin issue, and so did Trequan Smith. It happened right around the same time frame. So that's how he was missing out on that. And then we able to see some other guys. We seen Shaq Davis out there. He made a really good catch in the game. We was able to see Lynn Bowden Jr. get a lot of play. He was out there going in motion and all this kind of stuff, kick return, punt return. We seen um, John Trey Kirkland returning kicks. He looked really good and comfortable out there. We seen James Washington, even though James Washington, the former Steeler and Cowboy, was out there. He was thrown at a couple of times. He didn't come down with a catch, but he was out there as well. So we seen pretty much Keith Kirkwood called a touchdown. So we seen a lot of guys, most of our wide receivers out there get action. Of course, we know Trequan Smith's out. So despite missing those guys, fam, we deep at the wide receiver level. We are deep at the wide receiver level. Absolutely. I forgot all about it, bro. You're right. Papoose, yeah, he pulled his groin. You're right. I forgot all about it. All right, Jerry Lewis says Saints O-line hasn't been elite since Armstead left. He was one who gave the Saints O-line its nastiness. Yeah, who's the nasty guy on the line now? It's Penning, right? It's Penning, Trevor Penning. And my thing is, because we got, and I ain't gonna say they're nice guys, but they're really good guys. But Eric McCoy has a bit of a mean streak. He does. You get upset, he'll move you out the way real quick. I think Penning is the nastiest guy because that's his hallmark style of play. Even though they're training him to be more disciplined with his nastiness and play under control with that type of ability. And plus, he got to remain healthy. Ryan Ramczyk, I really need Ryan Ramczyk. Even Cesar Ruiz plays with an attitude. If you watch him, Ruiz plays with some attitude. Andrus, you see that when he plays, he get a little something. But I think the guy that really needs to step up, and people keep going around this, man, and we beat the Saints, the Who That Nation, knocking on all of them, but they missing shooting at this target, and it's Ryan Ramczyk. I keep saying this because Ramczyk, since the Saints gave Ramczyk that money, he ain't done nothing. And people saying, Q, he been banged up. He been banged up. How long has it been since Ram got that money? And he ain't, since we gave him that money, he don't play nowhere close to what he was when he was on that 4-year rookie deal or whatever it was. I think it was a 5. He got paid at the 5th year because he was a first rounder. But it been up anyway. What I'm saying is, Ram hadn't been the same. We need Ramczyk to become what he was the first 4 years he was here. We need that Ramczyk. If we get that Ramczyk, he can serve as a a person that can motivate a guy like Penning to do his style of play. I want Penning playing like Ram when he played his first 4 years in New Orleans. That's what I want. If I get Penning playing like that, like Ram played, and Ram playing like he played the first 4 years he was here before he got the big check and became big check, let's just throw the big check out and go back to old Ram. I want old Ram playing like that so he can get Penning on old Ram style of play, and we get that, fam. We that's nastiness right there. Because Ram played with some attitude, but since he got that big money, he love everybody. I love everybody, everybody. Ram loves everybody, so he ain't mad no more. We need to get that back. I love everybody, everybody. All right, School says, Q, you right. Ram got to step it up because he been banged. Yeah, he been banged up, but see, and you're right, bro. Everybody has to, like, listen, it been a couple years since he been banged up, bro, and it's about time for Ram to step up and handle the business. 'Cause I think Ramchek's contract is up what? Not this year, but the year after next. I'm gonna have to look it up. But the bottom line is we need Ramchek to be what he was the first 4 years he was here. I don't like this Ram. This Ram is he a top? I don't know how people not getting on Ram for this. He a top 10 highest paid often, one of the top 10 in the NFL, and what he's being paid by the Saints. They paying him a boatload of cash, a boatload with a couple of barges attached to it. You got a tugboat with several barges collect of cash that's going to Ramchek's estate. And I don't like how Ramchek has been playing over the last couple of years. Yeah, he been banged up, but it must be a hell of a bang to be banging him up that bad to make him look like he looks now. He looks mediocre as hell out there. I remember last year when Ram was getting beat. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? That's not supposed to happen when you got a guy that's a top 10 paid offensive lineman in the NFL. You don't supposed to see that. Not so, and I was the first year I gave him a pass. I'm like, man, this is something wrong here. We got to figure out what's going on over there, man. Because if he's we gotta take some of that money back if he ain't living up to what he, because you don't deserve to have that money. We can't pay you from the pay you like you a top 10 offensive lineman, and you like not even a top 20 offensive lineman. You playing like a shadow of your former self. This guy was really good. So I don't know. We'll see. But he made mention of it not too long ago about him changing up the way he managing things, and he said he's seeing a difference. So hopefully that sticks on it today. We'll see. We need him to step up, man. I love everybody. Everybody. That's what happened with Ram when he got that money. He loved everybody now. He loved everybody. Rated R says, Q, what do you think about that dude? Perry, AT Perry? Man, AT Perry was showing out, brother. AT Perry will be is the main reason for our Trequan Smith people, our supporters of Trequan Smith that love Trequan Smith. I got a word for you. Now it's just a preseason game, but listen, the Saints are proactively trying to get Trequan Smith off the team. I'm just letting y'all know. I know y'all probably some of the Trequan Smith supporters are used to seeing him around, but listen, things must change, my friends. Things change in this grand, beautiful, magnificent, gigantic world that we live in. Things change. That's one thing nature will tell you, that things change. And this is the year of change in the wide receiver room down on Airline Drive, if in the personage of one Trequan Smith. Right now, he's dealing with a groin injury, which is a kick in the the junk. And while he's out, A.T. Perry we already got three wide receivers, okay? Let's just break this stuff down. We already got our three wide receivers when they're healthy. Mike Thomas, Chris Olave, and Rashid Shaheed, okay? Granted, check in the chat, check. That's our three. The fourth wide receiver is currently being campaigned for by one A.T. Perry, who had 6 catches off of 6 targets and a touchdown today. He's 6'4", 6'5", with speed. Saints picked him up as a draft pick. They like him a lot. A.T. Perry is the reason why Trequan Smith is not going to make it. So that's 4 slots right there. If you throw A.T. Perry in the 4th slot, and the 5th slot is reserved for the kick returner and punt returner, who is either going to be John Trey Kirkland or it's going to be Lynn Bowden Jr. So y'all tell me what Trequan Smith fits here. If he can't make the 4th wide receiver position, then there is no spot for him, right? So that's why I'm saying nature is showing y'all right now that Trequan Smith has had his chance. Listen, don't you feel sad? Don't you feel mad? and don't you feel bad? Maybe I should say that like Reverend Saint, because you get a kick out of that. Listen, baby, don't you feel mad? Don't you feel sad? And don't you feel bad? Don't feel like that because we've given Trequan Smith his opportunity for years. He was the compliment. We drafted him in the third round. He was a compliment for Michael Thomas. He couldn't step up. He wasn't the first man in the building. He wasn't the last one to leave. And then when he was getting played, Sean Payton got so frustrated with the wide receivers to a degree outside of Mike Thomas that he started taking guys like Taysom Hill and putting him in there over top of Trequan Smith. Had him playing Trequan Smith's minutes while Trequan Smith sitting on the bench. So a portion of why he ain't developed was because Taysom Hill was still in his wide receiver reps. So I mean, you're supposed to step up when a guy that's a quarterback, running back, tight end, wide receiver, special team player, and that's taking your job. You're supposed to say, hey, man, ain't no damn quarterback, tight end, wide receiver, kick returner, punt returner, special teamer going to take my reps. I'm Trequan Smith. I'm a third round draft pick. I got such and such speed, and I'm supposed to be the compliment to Mike Thomas. That's how he's supposed to look at it. What'd he do? What'd he do? When his contract got due, he went over there. I think he went, and that's how he think. Remember when his contract was up, what was the one team he went to go talk to? Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. What's the one team that Trequan Smith, all my people out there jiffing for Trequan Smith, what's the first team Trequan Smith went to when his contract was up with the Saints? And it was the only team he went to. And then the Saints said, you know what? Let's give you another chance because we so good here. Name the team that he went to in the chat. I ain't going to even waste my time saying it. I'll give you a hint. It involves feathers. Okay? Let's just get that stated. Practice squad might be Jamaica. It might be. He might be. I don't know. That's right. That's right, T Dirty. That's right, Brother Derek. Brother Derek, y'all got it. That's right, Christopher. We good to you like that? That's how you do us? We believed in you. We believed in you when nobody else would. And out of the 30-something odd teams you can go take a peek at, you go run over there to Atlanta and talk to them, and we were still good enough to bring you back. So all my Trequan people, don't sit up here and say that Trequan didn't get a fair shot. We gave him a fair shot and shake for many years. It was him, he that didn't do what he was supposed to do to earn a job on his team. The Saints gave him chance after chance after chance when he was a third round draft pick. You won't say it was injuries. You won't say Taysom Hill stole his reps. At the end of the day, for whatever the reason why Trequan Smith did not manifest and become the receiver we thought he was because of one thing and one thing only. It was Trequan Smith. It was Trequan Smith. It was Trequan Smith. That's right. That's right. Y'all got it. Y'all got it. New Orleans East. Thank you, Ace. That's right. That's right. That's right. Asa got it right. The New Orleans East. That's what we call the Atlanta Falcons because they take everything from the Saints and they go to the East. That's the Atlanta East, the New Orleans East out there. That's what we call the Falcons. We rebranded them. We rebranded them. All right. Yeah, and yeah, he looked good out there, bro. He looked good out there. All right. So anyway, fam, let me get ready to get up out of this thing. But first, before I go, let me hear from you guys. Throw it in the chat. Give me a player of the game. All right. I know it's a tough order to talk about before I go, but give me a player of the game. I know it's a lot of people, but to you, who is your personal player of the game? Who is your player of the game? Now, there's a couple of people you could throw in there. Carr. I'm gonna give the player of the game. My player of the game goes to A.T. Perry. I thought A.T. Perry performed really well in the game. 6 targets, 6 catches, and a touchdown. He had a very good effort touchdown at the end of the play, diving. He's 6'4", 6'5", diving to the end zone to make the play. That's an effort play. Love that type of energy and intensity. How A.T. Perry was out there playing. I got to give it to A.T. Perry. That's my personal player of the game. What do you guys say? All right, Jeremy's with me. Say A.T. Perry. All right, Asa says Jawan Johnson. Thank you, sir. All right, all right. 504 Coach says Elm Kamara. All right. Int says I gotta say Carr. That's a good one too. All right, A.T. Perry, T Dirty. Shout out to my brother A.T. T Dirty out there. Says A.T. All right, Jermaine says Perry. Papu says Perry. A lot of family members saying Zandel. What's up, bro? Christopher says Keith Kirkwood. Okay, Keith Kirkwood with the touchdown. All right, thank you. St. John, shout out to your brother. Says Perry. Yeah, he deserved it, right? Boss Hog says AT. All right, shout out to you, sir. Thank you. Pelicans Nola said AT. Slim says AT. All right, ATP says Young City 91. All right. All right, brother Trevon says DeMarco Jackson was everywhere. All right, thank you, sir. Yeah, DeMarco was making some plays out there, man. All right, brother Jerry says AT. What's up, Tori? Shout out to you, bro. Says AT as well. T Roy says Carr. He liked how Carr played. Joseph says honorable mention is Phillips. Okay, thank you, bro. Appreciate you. Reginald says T Smith does not. He says Trequan does just enough to make the team. When the season starts, then he disappears. I don't, bro. He been doing that for some time now. You can't justify the Saints drafted a wide receiver, right? And I'm not saying you, but the Trequan supporters, right? Because obviously you're not. But for the Trequan Smith supporters out there, the Saints took a wide receiver in the draft, and that we already got three wide receivers, and Trequan Smith is not a kick returner or a punt returner. He don't play special teams as a returner, so he can't occupy the fifth slot, which is the kick return punt return man. And At Paris, obviously, if he keeps having these type of performances, he will make the squad. So where you have room for Trequan Smith, you don't. He'll end up on the practice squad. He'll make the team as a practice squad. In terms of active roster, Trequan Smith obviously is the Saints looking to move him up out of here, just like they moved Kentavious Street and Shy Tuttle up out of here. They need production at that position. They don't need a guy that always talking about I'm blocking, I'm blocking. You got to make plays, man. You got to make plays. He did a few things. He was doing something positive in training camp, but listen, man, it's about availability, and they're gonna go with who's there. All right, thank you, fam. Fred says ATP. Thank you. Kai says Parrot. Shout out to my brother Kai. Pam. All right. Mark, what's up? Mark says Carr. Thank you, sir. Jerome says AT Perry. I'm with y'all, man, on the Perry, man. AT Perry was out there balling today, man. All right, rated R. Say you like Carr. Thank you, sir. Philip says AT Perry. My dog Randolph said Penning. All right, thank you, Randolph. Dog says Dennis. All right. All right, Dennis Allen did do a wonderful job today of being poised. He did a really good head coach personation today, man. So that's pretty good. Sean saying seeing A.T. Perry's first catch with that number gave me Robert Meacham flashbacks. How about that? All right. Backwood said A.T. Perry. Reginald says Perry. All right. Who else we got? Jeremy says also Lutz did awesome. Thank you, sir. Rated also Carr. Look, he did look good out there, bro. He looked real good out there. Brother Wallace, how you doing, sir? Says Perry. All right, Barbara says Perry. Shout out to you. All right, first team defense says Kevin Conley. T Dirty. Trequan Smith. Yeah, yeah. No. Trequan, bro. Yeah. Winston says Derek as well. All right. Jerome says Andy Reid for Scoob, what's up, brother? Says the run defense was stingy in the first. Yeah, we look good, man. Dana says A.T. Perry was catching everything. He caught 6 targets, 6 catches, touchdown. Beautiful. Slim said Trequan had his chances, gave his spot to somebody that deserves it. You can't keep holding it forever. What we supposed to do, hold it there forever? You've been banged up forever coming there, and no, it's time for you to go. Chevy says Carr opening drive touchdown was pretty sweet. They held on to the ball for a long time too. Great time of possession. It was a very good drive. I wanted to see a second drive. I was so happy to see that, but they just gave you a little bit to wet the whistle and send you up out of there. All right. Good to see y'all, man. Shout out. Okay, Jamaica says Kyle Phillips. Jarrell is A.T. Perry. Saints for Life says Merriweather looks solid. Maybe we'll see more Merriweather going forward. All right. Yeah, Phillips says clap for Dennis. Dennis Allen was doing a very good head coaching. To his mannerisms, his energy, you can see it was definitely deserving of a head coach. I'm not gonna say it's a good or a bad one, but he did look more head coachy out there, if that's a real thing. All right, Trevon says, anyone notice DeMarco Jackson built like Vilma? He was out there looking solid, man. He was making some plays out there. All right, Randolph is obviously a brother Randolph is the biggest Trequan Smith supporter of the Western Hemisphere. He says y'all could cry all y'all want, but the coaching staff and QB value him and want him on the team. Ain't gonna happen this year, brother Randolph. I hate to burst your bubble. I love you. Says, man, y'all caught up in the preseason performance. No, we caught up on years of shabby, back ass, low, inconsistent performances, my brother. And we also caught up on the fact that the Saints are bringing people in at his position to run him up out of here. A.T. Perry, James Washington, Shaq Davis, all these people are threats to Trequan Smith who don't return punts or kicks who can only hang his hat on blocking. That's not gonna cut it, my brother. Especially when A.T. Perry going 6 for 6, and the fact they were ranting and raving about A.T. Perry during the training camp. So the training camp into the preseason is only indicative of him stepping up. So I mean, the future is before you, my brother. Accept it. Accept it, brother. Get rid of the box TV and get your flat screen. That's all I'm trying to tell you. We got to get rid of the box screens. We don't need the box monitors no more. You can stack a little more stuff up on your shelf now. You don't have to, have a big junky box TV no more. We got a sleek line, smooth, flat screen TV now. We can throw out the box televisions now. We don't need it no more. Or donate it to the Salvation Army, my brother, because I think that's what Trequan Smith need to go. He need to get the hell up out of here. Shout out to my boy Randolph. Randolph is the biggest Traquan supporter on this side of the hemisphere, man. He for real. He loves him. All right, I think it's his cousin or somebody. There it says, get rid of Dennis Allen. You are with your records. Give him, well, bro, they ain't gonna do that. They're gonna hold on to him right there. They're gonna hold on to him. All right, who else we got? All right, okay, H. Yes, 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 yes. Nah, I'm just keeping it real, man. Listen, I'm just keeping it real, right, brother Randolph? We got to keep it real. All right. So my thing is like we done gave the man chance after chance, man. They got people here to push him on up out of here, brother. I ain't draft A.T. Perry. The Saints did. They tired of waiting, bruh. They tired of waiting. They tired of waiting on the man. And time is up, man. A.T. Perry's here. They got all these other people here. They're gonna try to push that boy up out of here, man. Especially if he don't get healthy and get back to the field. He out right now on the issue. You only got one spot left, and A.T. Perry is cheaper than he is and has more upside. And the Saints like A.T. Perry a lot. Plus Cody Burns, who's the wide receiver coach, rants and raves about him. I don't hear nobody ranting and raving about Trequan Smith. All right. So, all right. Shout out there, the rest of the fam, man. I appreciate y'all for being here. I think Brother Randolph, that's his cousin or something, man. That's Brother Randolph's cousin, man. I think that's what it is. Trequan Smith. That's his second or third cousin, man. So yeah, bro, if that's your family. You ride till the wheels fall off, brother Randolph. I got you, brother. I understand. I understand, baby. I gets it. All right, Big Boo Hoffa. Shout out to you, fam. Appreciate y'all. All right, fam. All right, let's get ready. I'm about to get ready to get on up out of here. I'll sit around and talk to y'all for almost 2.5 hours. Listen, I appreciate the hell out of y'all. Y'all know I love you, and I'm happy. I'm happy y'all happy. We got a good win today. We were able to get a win. First preseason matchup against the Kansas City Chiefs, 26-24. Saints had a little dramatic at the end of the game, in which they were able to kind of come from behind and seize the day. That was a pretty positive effect. So before I get ready to leave, man, I just want to take time right quick to kind of give a shout out to a very beautiful young lady who I've been knowing for years. She's awesome. She's cool. And this is my friend, Sean Walker. She, when I was talking about cancer, she passed away yesterday. And this is a lady that is beautiful, spirit inside and out. Her legacy is a legacy of love. And when I was talking to you guys about cancer, and I even said I hated it because of her and the stuff that she was going through. And she lost her battle with cancer, and the Most High called her home yesterday. She was a beautiful, brilliant woman. She was a writer. As you can see, the light emanating from her beautiful soul. The world is a little bit dimmer because she's not here. But, you know, I gave my condolences to her sister and her family. Um, and she's an awesome person, and she's on another level now. She's up in heaven, making it beautiful up there. So I just wanted to end the show by giving her a special shout out and pray for her family and send condolences to her. She lost her battle. She had ovarian cancer. And I'm telling y'all, this stuff is real. It's tough. It's out here, and it is really raising hell, and it's really doing some stuff to the people. So people are suffering every day. And she was a beautiful soul, and I love her, and I appreciate her contribution and her role in my life. I learned a lot from this woman. She was terrific. She was awesome, and we lost her here, but she's in heaven. So I just wanted to share her with you, a story with her story with her as she goes on high. So much love to you guys. Today, like I said, I enjoyed the game. Yesterday, this was kind of on my soul and spirit. I just wanted to share it with you guys. Y'all know I'm pretty transparent. It hurt me a lot. But in the end, I realized, you know what, like when my baby sister passed away last year, that was a kick really hard on me too. But I gained through their experience. You know, I work hard to make them proud, you know, and she always preached about fulfilling your life, not waiting, doing what you're supposed to do, not procrastinating, and seizing the day and not letting things be a procrastinator. You know, live your purpose, do what you're supposed to do, and just be a positive among the people around you every day and live that right way. She advocated that up until her passing away. So she's an embodiment of love, and I just wanted to share her story with you guys as well. So with that being said, man, I'm gonna holler at y'all on the flip side, man. I appreciate y'all for spending some time with me, and I'll be back on the Monday stream. Much love. And who dat?
Yeah. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy and you probably smell the crooked referees are Roger Goodell. Yeah, probably like this and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this and I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Say they gon' beat them, say who that? Who that? Who that say they gon' beat them, say who that? Who that? Who that say they gon' beat them, say who that? Who that?
I'm just trying to give you something smoky out to forget.
Is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. TheWhoThatDaily.com. That's right, TheWhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, TheWhoThatDaily.com is your site. TheWhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us.